Hello and welcome to 100 days of being a Skyrim destruction mage. My name is Tizzy. Sit back and enjoy. Destruction magic today. We're using ice, fire, and lightning to rip through the game best we can for 100 days. I'm going for a dark elf on my race, and I'm trying my best to make him not very approachable looking. Ain't got time for chit-chat with the Skyrim locals. I name him Jigglypuff, as he'll be putting people to sleep permanently. I'm a part of a group of criminals about to get put down, but right before they off me, Alduin the World Eater shows up, giving me and the other prisoners a chance to escape. Now running through Helgen with a dragon desperately trying to ruin everyone's day, I rushed through to the keep with Rail off. While I fight off the first two Imperials that show up, let's talk about the rules and what I want to accomplish in today's video. Rule number 1 is no companions, unless they're needed to progress a quest. No enchanting. I can buy enchanted gear, but I'm not allowed to make my own. Rule number 3 is no smithing. I can make house building items like nails, but I'm not gonna be allowed to make Daedric gear, for example. Have to buy everything from traders. We're going for a pure destruction mage, so no using other schools of magic or weapons in general unless they're needed to progress a quest. As for the goals, I'm wanting to collect every single destruction spell the game has to offer. I'm also playing Anniversary Edition, so including whatever they added with that. Also wanted to max out the destruction skill and get all of the perks the tree has available. Lastly, I want to defeat Alduin, Miraak, and Lord Harkon. Playing the hardest difficulty, which is legendary difficulty, and I'll enable survival mode once I'm able to. First few Imperials are dead. Push through Railoff, meeting more Stormcloaks on our trip through the keep. My magicka pool is abysmal, and I really don't feel like I'm doing much, so their help is appreciated. There were some mage's clothes I could get here, and I did get it, but I'm not gonna be wearing it. I'll just complain some more about how crap my magicka pool is. Finally escaped and enabled survival mode. Now we have to eat, sleep, and keep warm, as well as not being able to fast travel. Ran down the hill collecting up all of the plants and bugs for potions later. Took the Mage Stone and pressed on to Riverwood down the road. Gonna be a fly-in visit here. I want to get through the place nice and quick to carry on getting some things to make potions out of before the day ends. Headed right for the trader and sold all of the junk I could. Bought a mage's backpack to increase carry space and give a little bit more magicka, and also bought the frostbite spell to add to my collection. Now I can cast the blast of cold that does 8 points of damage per second to health and stamina. Got told to go tell the Jarl of Whiterun about what happened at Helgen with the dragon. But before I go, I want to quickly steal a load of food from here. Checked barrels for random bits of food and even looted the crops being grown. Food's easy to get in Skyrim. It's everywhere. I say it all of the time, but if you die from starvation in survival mode, you honestly deserved it. That wasn't as much of a flying visit as I had hoped, but we still have time to hopefully catch some blue butterflies today before it gets dark and they go to sleep. Found a dead deer. I didn't do it. It was dead when I got here. This rabbit wasn't, though. Froze the crap out of it. There is Whiterun. We have the Jarl to talk to up there, but first I'm carrying on down the road. I'm gonna get all of the blue mountain flowers and butterfly wings I can find before it gets dark. It is starting to look like the sun's going down, so I don't have long to get the butterflies. I'm not stressing about getting lots, just some to get some good early game coin. Got a few, but yeah, they don't seem to be around now. Let's go head back. I now only have 1 hour left before the shops close in town now that I've made it. 1 in-game hour. God stopped me at the gates, telling me the gates are closed with the dragons about, but let me in after I said I had news about the dragon attack. Went in and headed for the alchemist shop so we can make some potions. Use the blue mountain flowers and butterfly wings to make a simple poison for selling. Sold what I could to the alchemist and the general store trader next door. Now that we have some gold from them, we can chill out and pillage the town's flower supply. This grueling task took me deep into the night. Alright, town's mostly flowerless. Let's go see the Jarl. Told him I was at Helgen, and last I seen the dragon, it was heading this way. He thanked me for the heads up and introduced me to his court wizard who's been looking into the dragon situation. He wants me to go to Bleak Falls and get a Dragonstone that's got all of the dragon burial grounds around Skyrim marked on it. He says it's probably inside the main chamber. He's also a merchant who you can get a lot of spell tombs from. With the coin I got just now, I'll take Firebolt, Lightning Bolt, Ice Spike, and Strangulation to add to our collection of spells. That's 7 out of 41 spells in the school. Fireball shoots a ball of fire, and Ice Spike, like you would think, shoots an Ice Spike at the opponent. Lightning Bolt also does what it says on the tin, while Strangulation absorbs 16 points of health per second for 3 seconds. That's a pretty cool lifesteal spell, but its cost is currently pretty high. It's late and it's cold up at Bleak Falls. Figured leaving in the morning would help me not freeze to death up there, so I rented a room at the inn to sleep. Had a level up to spend, gonna be spreading the attributes between Magicka and Health. Took Magicka this time and dumped the perk point into Novice Destruction. The spells we just got are apprentice spells, so this perk won't help us out with those, but it makes the first batch we got cost half the Magicka to cast. Also after sleeping, I finally cooked up some cabbage soup from the salt piles we pillaged at Riverwood earlier. And speaking of Riverwood, off back that way to go up the mountain to Bleak Falls. They drop off the rest of my potions I made, selling them to these Khajiit outside the city too. I didn't know it yet, but this wasn't gonna go my way. I didn't even make it to Bleak Falls. I think I could have made it, but I didn't feel very prepared at all. I could do another level or two to put into destruction and heavy armor, to be honest, and maybe some Magicka potions to help me out since I'm going the tank route and not the no armor robes route. Gonna need a way to either lower the cost even more of the spells or a way to feed me more Magicka. So I left before even making it to where the Dragonstone rests. Just collected up a load of flowers, butterflies, and other potion ingredients. I want Bleak Falls to be a little easier on me. The rest of the day was a little messy. Made enough poisons to get 2 levels into alchemy to make a total of 40% better potions, and thought I'd nailed it collecting lots of red flowers and tundra cotton for restore Magicka potions, but they actually made fortify Magicka potions that just slightly increase my overall Magicka rating temporarily. Could make some restore potions still, but not many. I bought some from the traders too, but again, not many. Slept because it was getting dark and I want it to be light when I go to Bleak Falls again. I got 2 more levels from all of the potion making. This time I'll take things to help my fighting. Took Apprentice Destruction so that now my new destruction spells cost less to cast, and I'll throw a point into Juggernaut to increase my heavy armor rating by 20%. It's so much easier to use these spells now. Magicka pool, still not great, but it's a lot better. Okay, Jigglypuff, let's go take down Bleak Falls. Oh, that's a giant block in my way. Just gonna let him have the road. Pretty chill as long as you don't get too close. Up the hill to the tower on the hill. Blasted the last guy I left alive. Probably could have done that before I left earlier. Looted the place and moved on to the resting place of the Dragonstone. There's 3 enemies on the outside. First one went down quick. The other 2 are archers and were stressing me out a little bit more. Magic is working against me here, so I ran. Ran to the Bleak Falls entrance and went in, leaving them alive out there. Psych, you regen Magicka faster out of combat. Just wanted to get a refill away from them. Now in we go. Officially. First 2 guys on the inside were a piece of cake. Blasted them pretty good with my lightning spells. Lots of enemies to deal with in here. Bandits, skeevers, spiders. This guy's all tied up in a web. As he'll give me a hand getting through the place using the golden claw he has. Freeing him, he runs away saying he's not sharing the treasure with anybody. It's fine because he dies to the Draugr in the next room. Cleared them out and took the claw from his dedicated body. Plenty more Draugr where that came from. Took me quite a while to get through this place. Made sure to take advantage of traps scattered around the dungeon and use them to kill some of them. All that's gonna do is save me on some potions. We needed that claw to get through this puzzle door. The claw has the symbol combination on it, so you know what animal's supposed to be where on the door. But if you just activate all 3 of the spinners 2 times each, then that's the right combination too. Doors open, and we are in the main chamber where the court wizard says the Dragonstone should be. There's a wall in here where you can get a shout. We can't use it yet. They cost dragon souls to unlock, but now we have a fight on our hands. A Draugr overlord pops out of his bed right by us, and he is the one carrying the Dragonstone. It's a pretty easy fight. Lots of stuff to dance around while I shoot from afar and regen Magicka. He too can use shouts, and has clearly killed the dragon to unlock it. The one he's using does damage to me, but I can occasionally cast Strangulation to steal some of his health to heal. Again, this place took a while. This fight was a lengthy one too, but just like ours, his death is inevitable. Wow, that was dark. I'm fine, I swear. Got the Dragonstone from his body and looted the room before leaving through the back entrance. It's night out. Really spent all day in there. Better get back to the court wizard. Ran my cute butt back to Whiterun and handed over the Dragonstone. Someone called Delphine's here asking him for a copy of it once he gets it deciphered. Now these jerks behind me are discussing another dragon attack that just happened. This time of the watchtower down the road. Watchtower's not far and it's definitely seen better days. After a quick look around, a man comes out saying it's still around somewhere, and here comes the Sky Gecko. We have to kill this sucker. To be honest, I can't do much. Magicka takes ages to regen in combat, so after my few initial casts, it's back to just waiting on other people to do damage. And for my Magicka pool to recover. It managed to get the final hit on it though. Lots of fun cinematic kills using destruction spells. I love it. Ate its soul and found out I'm Dragonborn. Now you can use the souls to unlock shouts like the one we got in Bleak Falls. I'd say shouts are fine in this playthrough. Using them anyway. Now the Jarl thinks I should go see the Greybeards to learn more about my newly learned powers. They chill up at the highest mountain in Skyrim. It's almost nearly open in time for the shops. Might as well wait around to unload some things. Adriana's up early. Sold her some stuff. But yeah, these shops aren't open yet. Few more minutes. There we go. Made some potions and sold a few more bits. Checked for some new armor pieces that might be nice too, but I couldn't find anything I wanted. Now we're taking the carriage outside the city for the first time. For a fee, these carriages can take you to any of the 9 holes around Skyrim, and I want to go to Riften. The way up the 7,000 steps up the mountain to the Greybeards starts on this side of the mountain, so it's a little bit easier coming from this angle. And it's late now that I made it. I'm also tired and hungry. I'm gonna go into the town. This place is crime infested. The guard at the door tried to get some gold out of me before I was allowed into the city, but I called him out on it and he quickly let me in. Headed right for the B&Bard to rest up and eat something. Rented a room and got my head down. Then my level ups again. I took Magicka for the attributes. There's 3 skills in the destruction tree that help to make each of the different kinds of spells do more damage, like fire, frost, and shock. I have 2 perk points to spend, and I'm finding myself using fire and shock spells more than frost for now, so I'll take the augmented flames and shock to have them do 25% more damage total. Before I leave town, I'm checking all of the barrels around for salt piles and food to cook. So many barrels in Riften, it's crazy. Also traded with merchants in town. Sold my junk to them and picked up some steel soldier armor and a helmet. Looks pretty interesting. Speaking of armor, I'd like to get a better armor rating. Right after I buy a horse from the stables outside the town for 1,000 gold, I'm gonna go behind Riften to follow the path down towards this crack in the mountain. Going through, you can find Fort Dawnguard. You can start the Dawnguard DLC here, and we need to do that for one of our goals to defeat Lord Harkon. But I'm going here because if I go into the fort and sign up to join the vampire hunters, we can get Esbern to train us in heavy armor. I'm probably not going to be leveling this skill naturally very easily, so training will be nice. Did 5 training sessions. The way training works in this game is that you can do 5 training sessions every overall level. So I just did 5 and now it's locked out. I'll be able to come back and do 5 more sessions for a fee once I level up again. There's also different levels of trainers, ones that can only train you to level 50 heavy armor and so on. Esbern is a master, which I believe lets him train us to level 90. It gets much more expensive to train the higher the skill gets. He wants me to investigate dim hollow crypt where vampires have been poking around, but I'm not doing that yet. Just wanted to see if I could get access to training and do a quick session. We'll do more later, but for now, let's get back on track and go see the Greybeards. Ivarstead is the next place we're hitting. It's a flying visit for real though. Not even getting off the horse, walking through here. Just going through and up the steps. Gotta walk the 7,000 steps to get up to High Hrothgar to have a chat with the old men that live up there. Good few enemies along the way, but if I stick to the horse, I should be good. And I was. Made it and went on in. These guys are masters of the voice. And while here, I learned a new word of the shout I already had, making it stronger, and was taught a completely new shout called Whirlwind Sprint that allows me to dash forward. They also gave me the worst thing imaginable. Homework. Yep. I have to go get the Horn of Jürgen Windcaller from its resting place in the dungeon. Carefully scaling down the biggest mountain in Skyrim to collect that sucker. Rode there the entire way by horse and didn't know yet, but today wasn't the day I got the horn. Turned up and got confronted by some rando bandits outside. Quickly ran in though, ignoring them. Doesn't look like they followed me, but I'm not going any further. See, with the rules we set, not being allowed to heal with restoration and aiming for a more tankier approach with not being allowed a companion meat shield, I desperately need farmable restore healing and magicka potions. Running dry on magicka way too easy, and I'm not having a very good time at the door. I left, and the people I left outside are dead. Wonder if the horse did it. What happened here? Heading for Solitude. Gonna hit up some traders there, and we'll take the carriage from there too. Not been here yet, but this is Solitude. It's normally pretty nice here, but you arrive on a bad day. Head into the inn to wake up the town and hit up all of the town's traders, buying out ingredients and even— oh crap, Miraak's cultists. These guys turn up to take you out in Miraak's name. Backed out of the friendly conversation and let them get aggroed by the town's guards. I did help, zapping from afar until they were taken out. Looted their bodies and got some orders they had. The orders say to board the vessel Northern Maiden docked at Raven Rock. Take it to Windhelm, then begin your search. This is my favorite part. Kill the false Dragonborn known as Jigglypuff before he reaches Solstheim. This is how the Dragonborn DLC starts, which we'll also need to do like the Dawnguard DLC to beat Miraak and Lord Harkon. But I'm focusing on the main questline and taking down the World Eater Alduin first. Got some steel soldier gauntlets from the blacksmith here. It's a little upgrade to the Imperial gauntlets I'd been wearing. Picked a bunch of the flowers around town before leaving too. Taking the carriage for a fee back to Riften. This day was a bit of a business day. Made some potions to get a level up so I could do more training. And is there a dragon in Riften? Oh yeah, that's one of those bozos. Got off a few zaps and this thing stood absolutely no chance. There is about 20 NPCs over there having their way with it. Yep, it's dead. Not sure I've ever seen so many people jump a dragon before. That's insane. Slept an hour, spent my level up on the next Juggernaut skill. We'll be back in a sec, but I hit Fort Dawnguard to train with Esbern again. Feel like it would have been more efficient to get in with the companions and have Farkas train me in Whiterun, but it's fine. If I want to train here, leave me alone. Went back again to Riften since the fort doesn't have an alchemy table yet, and I made some potions to get another level up. But I saved the perk point for now, and one more time went to chat with Esbern down the road. Did 5 more training sessions, and now I have a high enough heavy armor level to take well fitted to give me 25% armor bonus if wearing a full set of heavy armor. And I am indeed wearing a full set. By the end of the day, I got my armor rating to a pretty decent 155. Got our armor up a fair bit. Now I need some plants for potions. I want more tapanella. You can find lots of it around the paths near and in Riverwood. Need this stuff for magicka potions, and within 5 minutes, I got 15 of them. Not a crazy amount, but I'm planning on planting them in the ground and farming them, so this is great. Also going back to Bleak Falls because I need glowing mushrooms to grow too, and was silly not getting them while I was here earlier. Enemies don't seem to have respawned, so that's good. There's somehow a Draugr though. Scared the crap out of me. Killed it into one of these traps nicely. This is the room we want. Plenty of the stuff in this cavey area. Gonna use these to make fortified destruction potions. Now we need a place to grow the stuff. I'm playing Anniversary Edition, and in this version there's some houses added to the game that have been made by the community, like the Golden Hills Plantation, which is the home I want to get. Passing through the fields, you can find a farm right on the edge of Saber territory. Approaching the place, you get attacked by a ghost that almost nearly killed me, but strangulation saved me, stealing health, and enemies also kind of ragdoll in the air when they die to this spell, which is fun. The speedrun explained what's going on here. A boy went missing here, and his mum thought the dad did something to him. The mum poisoned the dad, and the dad took an axe to the mum. Could have gotten that glowing mushroom here too. But really, the dad was innocent, and the boy got killed by some wolves running off. Bringing back the boy's toy sword to the house, the ghosts reappear, and you're given the keys to the farm. This place is a little glitchy, but also insanely awesome for alchemists. There's a lot of farm plots. Got right to work planting what I want to be growing here. There's some cool upgrades you can get here, but for now, this will do just fine. Got nightshade and glowing mushrooms planted for fortified destruction potions, and then red mountain flowers and tundra cotton and mara tapanella for fortify and restore magicka in one potion. Got every space available to me filled up. I don't normally like skipping time like this, but I'm about to sleep away an entire day. Yep. Going upstairs to rest for a full 24 hours because after you get your plants down, that's how long it takes for the first batch to be grown and ready to harvest. After the first time, I think it takes a little longer though. I need those potions. There we go. Lots of ingredients ready for harvest. Don't have an alchemy station here yet is the only issue. Definitely not being very efficient here, but that means a trip to Whiterun before going back to that dungeon to get the horn for the Greybeards. Using this alchemy station to make some fortified destruction potions, which, by the way, are different to what I was expecting. For some reason, I thought it was going to reduce the cost of my spells, but they actually make them do more damage, which is cool. And make some fortify magicka potions. They aren't amazing potions yet. They'll get better when our alchemy skill gets worked on some more. I've also favorited the potions and hotkeyed them, so I can use them easily as we go. It is nice to freeze gameplay to use the potions too, though. Gives us time to think. Let's take a trip to Moth, because the dungeon we failed at is nearby there. I'm not stopping here. One of my least favorite towns is Moth. Either here or Dawnstar for me. Hop it on the horse and get it on out of here right away. One thing I will say is how rough legendary mode can be with some playstyles. I made a video where I played as a pyromancer, and I don't remember having so much trouble. But I also just used companions for meat shields, I think. Back at the dungeon, I still feel very underprepared. The mages at the door are still kicking my butt pretty good. I am a little tired, so my magicka is missing a little sliver of life. Backed out of the dungeon to rest at the sleeping bag to get that sucker back. Maybe that'll help. It helped, but what helped the most was using the right spells for the right enemies. Lightning spells also do more damage to enemies' magicka pool, which means if I get a few of these off, they won't be able to cast their spells on me. Down they go. Just have to take this place nice and slow. More mages and Draugr that cast spells, so lightning will be my main spell through this place. I'm going through these potions like crazy. A lot of waiting around between fights to regen the magicka, so I don't use so many. Skeletons ahead, but these guys are easy. Hardly any health and are super satisfying to kill. This is one thing I'd like more of in Skyrim. It's skeletons. I know everyone has one, but I'd prefer if they had no flesh attached. Can't get enough of them. It wasn't all plain sailing going forward. Had some issues with spiders. One thing I'm realizing is the armor rating I have won't do much if it's not got no health to protect. Wanted to be alternating attribute points between magicka and health, but that went out the window pretty quick, and I've not been given much love to health since I said that. Got through them in the end and used about half my potions I made doing it. And there's no horn at the end. The horn the Greybeards sent me to get is gone, and there's a note in its place that reads, Dragonborn, I need to speak to you urgently. Rent the attic room at the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood and I'll meet you. A friend. Solitude's not far. I'm gonna go sell some stuff there and treat myself to a carriage ride. I'm glad I did, because checking on the general store trader's inventory, she had a necklace of health that increases health by 30 points. That's the equivalent of adding 3 attribute points into health. And I also got a ring of the Mage and Knight. Increases heavy armor skill by 15 points, bringing my armor rating up to 166. Nice boost to health and armor. Now to take the carriage. Let's go to Whiterun and we'll travel to Riverwood by horse from there. It's late and cold, but I'm coming up on our location. Went over to Delphine, who we met earlier talking to Sovngarde about the Dragonstone, and I asked to rent the attic room. They don't have an attic room, but she sent me to one of the basic rooms they have for rent. That was just code, so she would know when the person that seen the note had arrived. Got comfy for all of about 5 seconds before Delphine opens my door telling me to follow her. Followed her for a secret door in her room where we talked in private about me being a Dragonborn. She's a member of the Blades, a dragon hunting group who have been waiting for the day the lizards would return. But she says they aren't actually returning from somewhere. They weren't gone anywhere and now coming back, but they are instead being brought back to life by something. She wants proof that I can consume their souls and thinks that she knows where the next dragon to come back to life will be. We're off to a little place called Cairn's Grove. I'm getting tired, but I'll travel through the night and hopefully stop at Windhelm to rest up before hitting the dragon burial site. 5 minutes on the horse, and I'm here. This is Windhelm. Besides sleeping here for the night, I don't really have any other business here yet. Went straight to the Candlehearth Inn and bought some food, then a room. Got a level up to spend too. Took Destruction Dual Casting to let me be able to dual cast spells, turning them into a more powerful version. Magicka cost on those dual casted spells will obviously be higher, sadly. It's light out and I'm ready. Back on the horse, and only a minute's walk down the road, you make it to Cairn's Grove, where we were meeting Delphine. Had a woman tried to warn me about the dragon up on the hill. That dragon is the World Eater himself, Alduin, somehow reviving a dragon from an ancient burial ground. The dragon's flesh slowly formed back around the bones, and Alduin left me to deal with a jerk. There was some noise outside my house that distracted me, giving the dragon time to land behind me. Got off some good damage and almost took me down, but I managed to survive. Using strangulation to steal the health back it took. Totally used up what I had left of the potions I made here. Didn't really need to. I could have waited for the magicka to regenerate by itself. But I was being a little impatient and trigger happy sipping on those things. Takes a while when in combat to regenerate too. I also had Delphine here taking like all of the hits. So that was nice. It's dead. Besides the sneak attack and the potion addiction, that went pretty smoothly. Consumed its soul and had a chat with Delphine about what's next now that she has her proof. She thinks the Thalmor might have something to do with the dragons coming back, and to meet her back at the Riverwood Inn. Took the carriage just outside Windhelm and had a late night horse ride from Whiterun to Riverwood. She says there's a Thalmor party going on, and I might be able to get access to it with a fake invitation. While she works on getting me that fake invitation, I'm to go talk to someone all the way over in Solitude called Malborn. We'll get to that later. For now, I have no potions left, and I'm really not ready for a night out in the club. Tell you what I am ready for though, about 3 more houses. The farm is great, but really doesn't produce enough potions for my liking, so I'm hoping to get the Half-Fire homes built to get access to all of the planters you can get at them too. Thing is, I need gold. I have just 1,271 gold total. Each house from the Half-Fire DLC costs 5,000 each. And that's not even including the upgrades, so we've got some work to do. Got a bounty from the innkeeper to kill the leader of Silent Moon's camp. The reward from the bounty is small, but if you loot the place best you can during these quests, you can get a solid amount of stuff to sell to make it worth it. Even with my lack of potions, this place was pretty easy. The enemies are mostly basic bandits, including the leader. Enemies scale with your level though, so because we are a low level is the reason why these guys suck too. Killed the leader and took all I could carry to trade in Whiterun. Also checking on their inventories too. I'm here to make gold, but I'd happily spend it if I found something nice with destruction enchants on it. Ugh, please don't. There's a dragon circling overhead while I'm headed for Halted Stream Camp next. Got a bounty to kill the leader there too. Starting to get the hang of timing things and who to be targeting first with my spells too. Been loving the lightning bolt spell. It's a lot harder to miss because the damage is basically instant from when you release the spell. Just a lot of this for the next few days. Playing bounty hunter. It's a tough life, but somebody's got to do it. Giant camps are a good source of coin too. They all have a chest that normally have some pretty good stuff in it. Just gotta not get too close to the giants or mammoths if you don't fancy a trip to space. Hit a few of these and check the farm too since we were passing by. There's a dragon plaguing the saber fields. Pretty bad. I'm trying to... Oh crap, he's gonna get... Yep. Trying to collect these ingredients up with a dragon dancing around is not fun. It's getting aggroed on some other things around the place, and I'm stressing out hoping it doesn't come back for round 2. One thing I should have done was get a few ingredients planted here at the start for money-making potions. I'll get a few down at another home when that's an option for me. Got all of my stuff and popped on the horse to get out of here. Like I might have to kill it eventually. Gonna haunt the farm otherwise, but today's not the day. Also realized I still had the golden claw after trading with this guy in Riverwood. He's who the claw belonged to before it got stolen. You can return it to him to get a nice chunk of gold as a reward, so I did that while I was here. After returning it, you guys are now friends, and he lets you just loot his shop clean. Took everything not labeled as steal and sold it right back. What are friends for? Also had a level up to spend. I should have gone to physician for this one looking back, but I didn't. I took the third alchemist to make an additional 20% better potions and used the ingredients I got back at the farm to make more fortified destruction and fortify magicka potions before heading down the road to take on Ember Shard Mine. Just collecting loot and gold from random easy locations like this place. One thing that sucks about destruction magic is the cinematic kill cams you get. Yes, they are pretty cool. I love them, actually, but But sometimes you trigger the fun camera when you don't actually kill an enemy and you get stuck in the camera for a second, letting the attacker get a free shot on you. Happens a lot with destruction magic, but I've never had it happen in the past with arrows or any other cinematic kill. Leave an embuscade mine and go in southwest to go to Falkreath. I've saved up enough gold to get a new home just about, and we can get one of the Half-Fire homes from the Jarl there. The Jarl's a crooked man, and he's not awake. No bother, I'll just wake him up. He wants a bandit leader killed that he had a deal with, wants loose ends tied up, and I don't blame him. I'll work through the night and make him dead before the sun comes up. There was a problem. I pulled up near the camp in the most wolf, mage, vampire-infested area possible, and it was a little bit messy. I didn't die to any of those mentioned enemies, but there was a lot of them. Picked off enemies on the outside of the camp and headed in to take down the chief. The jerk chiefed up and I had a hard time. The bandit chief beat the crap out of me, sadly, but I know I can do it. Figured we could just dance around this thing, and he did eventually get his stupid big head stuck on this cart, letting me hit him with my firebolts over and over again until he's dead. That one felt good. It's a rainy morning, but I'm back at Falkreath. Now we gotta find the steward. Ooh, an apple pie. I'll take it.
How do you feel? I think you might be sick.
Am I sick? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna turn into a vampire. That's fine. I bought the property for 5,000 gold, and is there a shrine in this town? I think there's one by the graveyards, right? Yeah, there's two. You can pay a fee at the shrines in survival mode to remove diseases like the early stages of vampirism. Perfect. Before leaving, I went to buy some stuff for the house from the blacksmith. Totally forgot to get some extra corundum ore, but I got a piece of enchanted armor that makes my potions I make be 15% better when I wear it. I'll throw this on when I make some pots and then take it back off when I'm done. I actually just bought a piece of land, not a home. We can build a house here, so it's fine. Just clearing out the locals. Some mud crabs to kill, and on the other side of the land you can find a conjurer that's not very nice. But it's not here. Just a bone wolf. Less work for me, I'm not gonna complain. Or not, it's back from its walk. It's summoned a familiar. It's like the weakest summon in the game. Get rid of her saltiness, ruining the vibe of my new home. Guess we better stop building this home. The Half-Fire DLC added 3 of these places you can buy where you can build your own house, and building it is pretty simple. You collect or make the resources needed for parts of the house, and it poofs up behind you. The game gives you some stuff to get started. If you want to build up the entire thing and get it all decorated, it's a lot of work. I just want the extra planting power you can get for the ingredients. But now we need the main hall and the greenhouse attached to the main hall. And this is where I realized I needed more corundum. Rest of the day was spent running around buying those ingots, as well as some lumber from Hurt, the vampire lumberjack down the road, and working on the house best I could. It's done. Kinda. Got the garden over here, and when I say I went for the minimalist approach, this is kinda going too far. I built absolutely nothing I didn't need. So we just have the planters in the greenhouse and the garden outside. Only issue is I turned all of my ingredients I harvested into potions already, and I don't have all of the stuff I want to start growing. Gotta level up. I've been putting some points into health lately, by the way, so that's helping keeping me alive. And I'm taking Physician now to have my potions I mix that restore health, magicka, or stamina be 25% more powerful. That will help with my restore magicka potions a ton. Paired with the enchanted arm piece I got, this will be great. Today I checked on some alchemy traders to see what they had, and also run on over to the farm again to see if things had regrown. As expected, they had not. Shouldn't have turned the whole last harvest into potions. Should have saved a few of everything. I'm gonna have to kill that dragon eventually too. There's 2 of them around the area, but this one's right on top of my farm. Yeah, I didn't kill it, I left to Riften to sell my blue butterfly and flower potions, and did some training with Isran in heavy armor again. Got the heavy armor level 38, and some reason it was saying it was a lot more expensive than it actually was. Kinda weird. If he charges me 1,600 gold for the next level already, I'm gonna be upset. It's been a day since I hit the farm, and it looks like the plants have grown, which is great, but I'm killing this stupid dragon today. Luckily, I made a friend. The dragon had picked on a giant, and we're teaming up to take it down. It's just a regular dragon, nothing too terribly strong, thankfully, and with me and Andre the Giant over there, both attacking it, we'll both survive the interaction. He's dead, and now we can... Uh-oh. Yeah, he doesn't like me. I must have accidentally on purpose zapped him. It's okay. I ran away from him, and now we can harvest our plants. Make sure to not turn them all into potions this time. Before leaving, I took probably the most useful perk we're gonna take in the whole video. Impact. Most destruction spells will stagger an opponent when dual cast. This will be very, very handy. Made it to my second home and got all my ingredients planted. I seem to be doing not so bad with the fortified destruction potions already, so I just got a few of the ingredients for that down, and all of the rest was used for magicka potions. I hate burning a day. Like I said, time is against us, but I'm sacrificing this day for a harvest. Slept 24 hours to get all of the plants grown. Should have enough ingredients to try the next part of the main quest line. Just gotta collect up these things and make a boatload of potions. They're a nice chunk better than the last batch I made too, of the perk and enchant upgrades. Now that we have all of these, let's go see if we can get through the Thalmor party quest. Last thing we were told to do is go meet someone named Malborn in Solitude while Delphine works on getting us a fake invitation to a Thalmor party. Took the carriage from Whiterun up to Solitude, and I'm gonna make a save here just in case I struggle with it and need more prep work. Malborn's in the Winkinskiva Inn, and he's a smuggler. He's going to be working the bar at the party and can get anything I want to use at the party into the party. Thalmor are strict on security, so anything I don't have him smuggle for me won't be coming with me, and we'll have to leave it with Delphine. Gave him my armor and my 1 million except not really potions, and I'm naked. This is my favorite part of the quest. Ran freely down to the stables outside town and met Delphine, who has my fake invitation and my party clothes. I carted off on the carriage to the Thalmor Embassy. There's a drunk arriving too. I'm gonna need his help in a minute. Showed my invitation and was let in to introduce myself to this lady.
Welcome. I don't believe we've met. I am Elenwen, the Thalmor ambassador to Skyrim, and you are...
I'm glad you asked, Elenwen. I'm the great Jigglypuff. Out to get some brandy from Malborn and give it to the drunk so he'll do me a favor and cause a scene, allowing me and Malborn to sneak off and get my smuggled gear. Now it's on. We have to fight our way through the back of the embassy to find some proof that they had something to do with the dragon attacks. The first area went fine. I'm going through potions, like that sock monster under our bed goes through socks, and the next, well, the rest of the areas I have a slightly harder time with. I'm in the courtyard, making sure to use lightning to help drain their magicka, because there's a lot of magic wielders with them all being high elves, but they did get the better of me. At least the one time out here. Got this guy stuck nicely and headed on into the next area, which again gave me some trouble. A good few enemies in here that did manage to take me down. Second attempt went well once again. And I'll tell you one thing for sure. I went through all of my Restore Magicka potions in the embassy. Every single one of them. Then came the final area with Thalmor. First try in all of these rooms ended with a death, which is okay. I feel like I'm learning how to play better with the build with every fail. Took that guy down finally and got the last document we could get in here. The Thalmor have nothing to do with the dragon attacks, but I did find out that they're looking for someone called Esbern. Delphine might want to know that, but for now, the Thalmor have Malborn and is wanting me to surrender. Accidentally zapped Malborn. He walked right in the way of my lightning. It's his fault. Took down those Thalmor and grabbed the trapdoor key, and then escaped out of the back of the embassy. Malborn's off to do whatever he does, and I'm off to take the carriage from Solitude to Whiterun. And I did. Traveled by horse from there to Riverwood, and told Delphine what I learned. Esbern is another member of the Blades who knows a lot about the dragons and would be a good person for Thalmor to acquire. Delphine says we should get to him before they do. Checked in on the trader in town to sell some junk and realized at some point in the embassy I'd picked up a ring of minor destruction. That is a great find. Reduces the magicka cost of my destruction spells by 12%. I'll sell the heavy armor ring I was using and start using that instead. Delphine told me Esbern is hiding out in the Riften Ratways, so we're heading on over there. It's getting a little blurry because I'm tired. Rented a room to nap up for a couple of hours. I forgot something. I forgot that I ran out of potions about 2 seconds ago, and I'm gonna struggle here. Realized how hard this place was gonna be and just legged it through the Ratways to the Flagon. But the enemies I left came back to haunt me. I feel like I need my potions. That Thalmor Embassy really drained my supply. I'm dying a lot. I'll come back. I'm not sure how, but I've lost my lockpicks. Must have somehow accidentally sold them. That really sucks, but I can't open that at the minute. Lockpicks are everywhere. We'll build more back up slowly, easily enough. It's fine. Working on raising up my savings while my farm plots work on raising my potions. Stole from a giant, a dragon also got robbed today, and I hit up a spider cave. There's a lot of waiting around for magicka to regen going on. Luckily, that's a big spider in there, and it can't fit down this tunnel. Gotta kill it quick though, because it's like 6 p.m. and I want to hit Windhelm's stores. At some point during that looting session, I got a dwarven piece that has a plus 30 health enchant on it, and it has better armor rating than the steel piece I've been wearing too. Not so warm to wear, but I'm using it. Trying to stop myself going to do some more heavy armor training whenever I'm able. I should save the gold for the next house. It's day 22, and this is a dead wolf. And I'm not responsible for killing. One thing I am responsible for killing is these bandits pressed on with my Raiden. This is White River Watch. I doubt I'm killing the guy at the end of this place, but there's plenty of simple bandits and loot to take. Got a blind guy in the first room watching the entrance. Yeah, I said it. What he's doing, okay? Couple mages to deal with, not too much trouble. There's a wolf in a cage here, and I want it. Not the wolf, the cage. Had the wolf help me kill the bandits before I turned on the wolf and stole its cage. Yeah, I'm regenning magicka in here, and that guy out there can't seem to get his arrows off through the bars. Popped my head out, taking shots when I could until he was dead. There is one last chest at the end, but it's guarded by this guy. If I had Restore Magicka potions, I could probably kill him with the stagger perk I took. I just keep rocking him until he's dead, but that's not an option, so I'm taking the loot and running down the mountain. He's still shooting at me, but I'll be fine. Selling stuff in all of the towns. Also hired Brenuin? I don't know how you say that. The homeless guy. Gave him some coin and he can work the farm for me. He'll provide extra potion ingredients harvesting while I'm not there. You can hire 2 people. Since I'm not allowed to hire companions, I'm not taking a follower back there to hire farmhands for me, so I should eventually get a second farmhand myself. And by eventually, I mean right now. I'm in Riverwood to get Embry the Drunk to go work the farm too. Gave him some gold and sent him on his way. The next half-fire home I'm getting is the Morphal one. I'm taking the carriage. This was a flippin' nightmare. This is Morphal. The town's plagued by a vampire menace. Before we get into the crap show, I have a level to spend. I'll take Augmented Frost. I've not found myself using frost spells much up until this point, but it makes my frost spells do 25% more damage. To get the house here, we have to go through a quest line, where there's vampires trying to take over the town through romance and manipulation. Had to find out what happened to a burned down house in town. Found a ghost girl, which led me to her coffin where a vampire can be found, and yeah, so basically, you gotta figure out who's behind the house getting burned down, and the vampires were the culprits. For some reason, I was getting what I thought was a bug. Is it intentional and happens all of the time? I don't know. But this door was refusing to be picked open during the night. I've never had so much trouble with an adept lock before, so I'm gonna assume it's either my game bugging or it's intentional and I can't pick it open at night. Because during the day, it opened like nothing. Yep. Found the proof the vampires are trying to run the town, showed the Jarl, and was given a group of people to help take on a master vampire in a lair not too far from town. But when we make it to the cave, there's just one guy who's willing to go in. All of the others just had a nice walk and now they're leaving. Had a little bit of trouble in here. Died for sure a couple of times and got a little worried about the master vampire. I thought maybe I'd not be able to do this place being empty on potions. But I found taking a good few shots at it and then backing up while still somewhat undetected, I could lose the aggro, regen my magicka, and repeat. Took a while doing that, but down he goes, and I'm running, leaving that poor guy with the rest of the vampires. Uh-oh, there isn't only vampires in town, but there's a dragon. Stupid thing blasted me, taking down a lot of my health, but I survived. Had the help of the town's guards taking it down. The stagger perk even works on dragons. That's how OP that perk is. Dual wielding destruction spells knocks him off his game. Just a simple basic dragon, so easy enough. Reported to the Jarl, and now I can buy a plot of land from her steward for 5,000 gold, like the other plot we got earlier. Went right to Solitude to buy some things like corundum and iron ingots for building. He didn't have much iron though. So I woke up Whiterun and bought what I needed from there and then headed for my new purchase. It's the exact same situation as what we have over in Falkreath. We're building the bare minimum, but first, a weird interaction with the locals. I spotted 3 bandits and 1 mage headed my way, so I went right after the mage first. I take her out and run out of magicka afterwards. At least then I can dance around naturally regenerated and slowly taking the regular bandits down. The mage might cause problems, but then something strange happened. All 3 of the bandits just collapsed and died after I killed the mage. The mage was a necromancer, but she really raised 3 corpses? Is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, I got right to work mining quarried stone, clay, and building up the house. Before the day was up, I got the garden built out here, and if we go in, it's very echoey. But we have the greenhouse and the planters looking very lonely. Now we gotta go see if our plants have grown at the other homes. It's been a while, so fingers crossed. Taking the carriage to Falkreath and we'll ride through all of our homes until I make it to the newest one to plant my stuff. I did buy some food while I was here because I was running out, and I also have crippling ataxia. Is this why I couldn't pick that lock earlier? Picking locks and picking pockets is 75% harder. Alright, those diseases are so easy to miss getting, I had no idea I was ill. Touched the shrine here again before leaving for 100 gold fee, and I'm better. Got a wolf with the Falkreath home I built. Better take him out quickly. Harvesting up the plants. I'm gonna start to balance things out some more. Noticing I'm getting more of some ingredients, and having some left over means it's not an equal harvest. I'll plant more of whatever we're getting less of at the new home. Onwards to the farm. We have those farm hands over there now. Should have a little extra forest too. Have to build them a home eventually though. They're just sleeping on the floor outside over there. Harvested all of the farm and went to get the extra from the cupboard. This is where they put what they harvest for me. Last run over to the new property to get some stuff planted. Balance things out best I could too. Getting a lot more glowing mushrooms than nightshade for my fortified destruction potion, so I'm only planting a few nightshade and 0 glowing mushrooms at this one. Again, I hate doing it, but I'm totally nuking 24 hours too. I went to sleep that time away to get the plants grown. I gotta make sure we sleep and not just wait with the T button, because waiting makes you tired and sleeping obviously doesn't.
Sure. What can I do for you? Yes?
Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes. With a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed, and the legend yet grows. You'll know the Dragonborn's come.
I'm back ready to take over the Ratways. That's not much to brag about. The toughest enemy in here was named a lowlife. We're looking for Esbern, and we were told to look down here in Riften. First 2 people are somewhat easy. Just kept topping up my magicka and buffing it with fortified destruction, and they're out of the way. Drop down here, and now we have a skeever to kill. Easiest enemy here by far. The next room has the guy with the enchanted unarmed gloves. Likes the fist fight. Making sure to dual wield stagger his butt and take advantage of my potions. Hugely relying on potions. As the lowlife I mentioned. He has the most health out of all of the enemies in here and gave me a tiny bit of trouble. Got my health pretty low, but I ran around a bit and he got stuck in these tree roots that had grown down here into the Ratway. I'm not moving, just standing here strangling him from afar. That's it. At least in this area. Now we are into the Ragged Flagon, where the Thieves Guild business goes down, but I'm not here for that crap. Bribe the barman into giving me some info and says I can find Esbern in the Ratway Warrens. Only problem here is that there are Thalmor here already trying to get to him. Making sure to use lightning on the mages to drain their magicka. Gotta get shots off on those guys as quick as possible. Some bound sword handlers too. Used fireball to take them down. Pressing on, you find a heavily locked door with our man behind it. Gotta get his butt out of here. Esbern thinks all hope is lost without a Dragonborn and seems defeated. After telling him hope's not lost and that I'm Dragonborn, he packs his things and we are making our way back through the Warrens. More Thalmor have turned up, but this part is miles easier. We were out of the Warrens and the Ratways in general before we knew it. It's nighttime though. Was hoping to check in on the town's traders, but all of the stores are closed. That's fine. Let's keep moving. Feel a little bit bad. I'm on a horse making Esbern walk. You'll be fine. You'll make it. And he did. He and Delphine were happy to see each other, and oh yeah, I forgot to get my stuff back from Delphine after the party quest earlier. This is where my lockpicks went. Anyway, they seem to think the answer to defeating Alduin lies in Skyhaven Temple. There's a wall there with all of the accumulated dragon lore. With the dragons being gone for so long, this wall was just left to sit. They're off to Skyhaven Temple, but I'm over encumbered since I got all of that unsmuggled stuff I just picked up. There was a lot of things I could sell in there, like weapons and dragon bones. I'm as light as a feather now, except not quite. But Skyhaven Temple is over near Markov. I'll pay this guy to go there, and I'll probably be tired by the time I get there too, so we'll have to rest. It's late, but I'm here. I'm also hungry. Cold and tired, like I said, so I need to rest. The entire town is a blurry mess because of the lack of sleep. Rested up and ate and even had a quick peek at the town's merchants' inventories, but they didn't have anything I wanted. So we're off. Skyhaven Temple is in a mountain down the road from here. There's always a dragon here when you arrive and a load of Forsworn in a camp. The dragon's an easy kill since there's so many people here to fight it. It's like 14 on 1. You can also avoid the dragon using ranged attacks too if you time your stagger. You can avoid the dragon using ranged attacks too if you time the two-handed stagger attacks well to the point where they just can't get a shot off on you and they fly away. All those enemies to take it down, and I still got the last hit. Parked up a little away from the camp. Picked off the last few Forsworn and moved into the mountain. There's just 3 more Forsworn to take on in here. Easy enough with the 3 of us and Esbern's Atronach he spawns. Made it past the couple of very easy puzzles and made it to Skyhaven Temple. Behind that head is Alduin's wall. Just gotta give this blood seal some of my leakage and head on in. Esbern gives the wall a look and says the old Nords used a shout to defeat Alduin. We're gonna need the Greybeards' help. Back at the Markov stables, heading for Riften to go from there to the throat of the world. Arrived late. The traffic was rough. Going past Riften to Fort Dawnguard. Trained up 5 times with Isran and got so insanely close to the next level. I need a little XP before I leave and I can do 5 more sessions. I think crime is the way to go. If I pick a few pockets, we'll get an easy level up. I did it first try, honest. No save reloads were harmed, and I got a level up. Found Isran again after a stupidly long time trying to find him. I did the extra training sessions. Put the perk point into the 3rd Juggernaut skill too, bringing our armor rating to 194. Right, better get back on to talking to the Greybeards. We got a bit of a walk to Iverstead. Then a bit of a walk up the 7,000 steps. Avoiding all of the enemies again and into High Hrothgar. I also forgot I didn't give them the horn back when Delphine gave it to me earlier. Given him that, they will gift me the last word of unrelenting force. Went from chuffed to miffed real quick. Told him I was here to figure out this dragon crippling shout, and he caught on that the blades have got to me. Them and the blades don't get on, and both tried to set the dragonborn on different paths. He says he refuses to help me until I return to the path of wisdom.
I have given my answer. Go and reconsider your course. Dragonborn, wait.
He does help in the end. Kinda. He can't teach me the shout I need, but gives me a new word called Clear Skies to make it possible to get past the harsh weather and go further up the mountain to talk to Parthenex, their leader, who also can't teach me the shout I need, but does tell me I could use the Elder Scroll to see the Nord heroes use it in the past to learn it directly from them. Asked one of the Greybeards if they knew where I could get my hands on an Elder Scroll, but he's sending me off to the College of Winterhold because he has no clue. I'm here at Winterhold, and speaking of having no clue, I have no idea what got over me on day 33. See, I went over to the college and got access by casting a spell to prove I have what it takes. And then I proceeded to start following the college's questline instead of just going to the Arcanium to find out more about the Elder Scrolls. Yeah, I'm blaming it on having a break between days and it being very early when I started playing this session. It's not a total waste of time anyway. Getting to work on a destruction skill and get a load of loot to sell, but this wasn't on my to-do list. We're a third of the way through our days. I should really be working on killing Alduin. Anyway, I got to the Eye of Magnus discovery part and run back to the college, realizing I'd been an absolute moron and it's getting dark. Went to the Arcanium and had the orc grab the books he has on the Elder Scrolls, which leads to a conversation about someone called Septimus Cygnus, who's someone who wrote one of the books. The orc tells me he's living out in the ice fields if I want to go find him. We're back on track to finding a way to take down the World Eater. Just have to deal with some cold weather behind Winterhold, right on the edge of the map where we find Septimus's outpost. Heading on in, we can talk to the man himself. He's a little crazy, but offers me a you scratch my back, I scratch yours situation. He tells me where I could find an Elder Scroll, but also gives me this lexicon to transcribe while there and bring back to him. I'll use it to get the scroll, but I'm telling you now, I'm not coming back. I did use up a lot of potions on the college field trip quest. My farm plot should be ready to harvest again, so we'll real quick go from Falkreath and work my way through the homes. From there, harvesting as we go until we make it to Solitude, where we'll take a carriage back to Winterhold. The Elder Scroll's not too far from there, but I'm not sure my potions will last. That location it rests at is pretty big. Seems to be a giant walking by my Falkreath home. Should be able to grab the plants and not disturb him. Riding up on the farm next, but there is another dragon circling like before. We're heading for Rorikstead to maybe get the people there's help. Rorikstead is right behind the farm. We have neighbors, and I'm bringing trouble to their doorstep. I don't think there are any casualties. I don't think. Me and a few guards picked away at its health nicely. It's dead, and my inventory is pretty full. So, I want those bones to sell. I'm using Whirlwind Sprint to help me dash back to the farm. Are you joking? I can barely move, and 2 necromancers are here at the farm trying to ruin my day. Luckily, there is a bunch of garbage between me and them letting me get some good shots off, and the being heavy doesn't really matter, but it wasn't ideal. Dropped things off and harvested my crops. Moving on to the last home, and then Solitude. Fast forward to Solitude, having collected all of my ingredients, I got a ring upgrade too from the Radiant Raiment shop. This one gives me a 17% reduction to the cost of destruction spells versus the 12% we've been working with. Looks like we're gonna have a lot of potions going into the area with the Elder Scroll. Speaking of, let's go back and get this thing going. Just gotta rest up in Winterhold, and that wasn't much of my tiredness removed from 6 hours of sleep. Yep, I'm sick. I got crippling brown rot, and I'm not sure there is a shrine in Winterhold for me to touch. Or was there one under the college? Maybe. No, I think this is what I was remembering. Okay, no bother. There's one behind the town a little on this island-looking thing. Shrine of Talos will clear that up in no time for a fee, of course. Going back to the inn to actually get rested. Magicka is locked up a little, and I want all of it back for getting to that Elder Scroll. And I did. Got rested, and I'm off. I've got a little over 100 regen Magicka potions. Something tells me I'm gonna burn through a lot of those suckers. One thing about this place is there's a lot of Dwemer machines like these spiders, and they are not affected by my strangulation spell, so healing off them is a no-go. Relying on the stagger perk again a lot in here. If I didn't have that, this place would be harder than it already is. And let's be honest, I died a good few times, but I was slowly pushing through, quick saving as I went to save my progress. Alongside the crap ton of Dwemer machinery, there's also what feels like an endless supply of Thalmor. These guys are affected by my strangulation, so I have a source of health now. This place took a very long time. Probably the longest I've spent in a location so far with this build, and for good reason. I'm after an Elder Scroll here, so you would think so. Having a hard time with the guys that use spells. They have a chunk more health than the other magic wielders I've dealt with so far. I've already used half my potions I've made, but I gotta keep on these Thalmor mages. This area is where I skipped a few enemies. Pulled this lever to lower the gate ahead, and that is a Dwarven Centurion, and I don't fancy eating through the last of my potions just to kill it, so I'm running. Didn't fight these 2 people bickering either. I just opened up the secret staircase and went through to Blackreach down here. This place is gorgeous, but I'm lagging it through. Lots of ranged enemies shooting at you as you go, and my first try running through was very much unsuccessful. Second attempt, here we go. Going off-road on this one. It helped a lot. A lot less enemies running around the rocks over here, and the water. Made it to the end and took the elevator to where we can get our hands on an Elder Scroll. It's just up there in that crystal-looking thing. Put in the lexicon Septimus gave us. On this, we can push this button until the next button gets unlocked, and so on. Very easy stuff. Crystal will eventually drop down, revealing the scroll we came here for. We better get back to the throat of the world. Crazy to think how big that place is supposed to be too. From the start to the end, the distance in-game is bigger than the distance between Morphal and Solitude. That's crazy. Did a few small things and made it at the start of day 38 back to Ivarstead to make the walk once the crap again up the 7,000 steps. This one's a big one. Went on up the mountain, past Hrothgar and the harsh weather to make it back to Parthenax, where I can give that scroll a read in the rift-looking thing. It shows us the past, where 3 heroes challenge Alduin in this very spot and use Dragonrend to bring him to the ground. The Annats teaches us how to use the shout too. They were unsuccessful in their attempts to kill him and instead used a scroll to send him forward in time, delaying the end of the world. Leaving the vision of the past, Alduin has appeared and he's not happy. We can use Dragonrend to bring him down and blast him with fireballs. Parthenax is also Helgen, but we are not doing much damage. He also has an attack that brings down a constant supply of rocks from the sky, but casting Clear Sky Shouts will make it temporarily stop. I also went through every single potion I had left, and he's still nowhere near dead. This last 30 seconds of the video has been about 20 minutes in real life. Yeah, this took a while. Just like any other dragon, he eventually gets to the point where he can't fly anymore because his health is pretty low, but unlike other dragons, my stagger perk does absolutely nothing to him. Parthenax's health is shot now too. He's hurt and is no help anymore. Took a very, very long time waiting on Magicka to regenerate to take shots, but the fight is finally over. He's sadly not dead though. He flies off to heal up, and I'm to talk to either Parthenax, the Greybeards, or the Blades. I'm freezing, so I'm running down the mountain to talk to the Greybeards to see if I can find out where he's run off to. They said he can apparently dip his toes into Sovngarde to consume souls there to heal up, but nobody knows how he does it. Mentions how Dragon's Reach is actually one big dragon trap, and we could potentially convince the Jarl to let us capture a dragon there to get it to tell us how he does it. So down I go. Down I go to wake up the Jarl from his sleep and be told no, he won't help. Not until there is peace between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. At least temporary peace, so he's not worried something will kick off while we have a dragon trapped in the city. This is easily the worst thing in survival mode for me, having to walk up and down the 7,000 steps a bunch of times in the main story. Outside of survival mode, you could just fast travel there. With survival mode, there is no fast travel, so we gotta walk. I'm taking the horse around the mountain to Ivarstead this time, instead of carriaging over to Riften and walking to the steps from there. It takes a little bit longer, but it's okay. And up the stairs we go for not even the final time. Up here, the Greybeards are not happy about getting involved in the war, but agree because Parthenax decided to help me. We have to go talk to Ulfric of Windhelm and General Tullius of Solitude about holding a conversation between the two sides up here in Hrothgar. Tullius is first. I love Solitude. Can't be anything but happy here during the day. They aren't great at cleaning up corpses, but besides that, it's great here. I can clean them up. Stick them both in this crate. The person leading the Legion's fight against the rebellion is General Tullius, and he can be found in Solitude's castle door. He's not very happy about it, but says he'll be at Hrothgar for the chat. Just gonna check all of these shops before leaving. Might have something good I could use. And they did. Got this necklace with an alchemy enchant on it. I'll take that happily. Off to Windhelm to talk to the rebel leader next. I'm tired, cold, and hungry now that I've made it. Gotta sort that out first because my screen's getting fuzzy. Bought some food from the inn and a bed to go along with it. And now I'm ready after eating and resting to talk to the Jarl. He, just like Tullius, doesn't seem very happy about it, but agrees to meet to figure out some sort of peace. They are off. I'll be too, but first let's check on the traders here in this town. I got a new helmet and a pair of gauntlets. Nothing crazy. Got a steel helmet and silver gauntlets that give just a little bit more protection. Looking a bit like a mix and match warrior, but it's okay, as long as it works. I'm nearly done with the 7,000 steps for what I think is the last time. Delphine and Esbern made it. Try doing that 5 times in the last few minutes. Everyone's here and a lot was said, but to get to the juicy stuff, there was some land trades between the two sides. The Stormcloaks got Markov, while the Imperials got Riften, and nobody is happy. I love it. Peace is being accomplished, at least for now, and Esbern let me know a dragon's name to call. His name is Odahviing. Look at me finding easy ways off the mountain. Not really. I'm as dead as they come. I'm running on empty potions, and after we trap the dragon, we are off to get Alduin. So, I'd like to top up. and hopefully get some new spells. Giant's still at my home. He's okay. He's not hurting anyone. He's keeping the bandits and crows away, letting my plants grow nicely. The new spells can be gotten from the Destruction Mage in the College of Winterhold. We're taking the Adept Destruction perk to make the spells we get cost less magicka. Took 4 spells total. Got Fireball, which is a more destructive firebolt that has a nice area of effect around the explosion. Then Hangman's Noose steals more life from the enemies versus the old Strangulation spell. Ice Storm is pretty cool too. Releases a slow wave of ice that'll go through enemies. And lastly, Chain Lightning, which is, as you would expect, chains lightning to other enemies. They're all a lot more expensive than the old spells to cast, but have some nice effects to them and are a little less straightforward. Got another perk to spend. I'm taking Benefactor. Makes potions like my Fortified Destruction ones have a 25% greater magnitude. Spam crafted 100 plus potions and got to level 20 through doing it. I took Intense Flames. Fire damage causes targets to flee if their health drops low. It'll be nice for a little bit of crowd control. Less enemies to worry about hitting me if they're running away. I'm rested, warm, fed, and in Whiterun. I'm ready to catch me a dragon. I told the Jarl I was ready and headed out to the back where we can call Odahviing. Odahviing! He flies around the corner, snatching a guard as he goes by. This is actually very, very easy. All we have to do is shout Dragonrend to bring him down, lure him into here, and then let the trap fall and get him around the neck.
Zuubonar, you went to a great deal of trouble to put me in this humiliating position.
Says how some of the Dove have started to doubt Alduin's reign. The way Alduin gets to Sovngarde is by going through an active portal. The portal is located at Skuldafn. The dragon agrees to take me there if I release him. So I pulled on the lever and he's free. Popped on the dragon and we flew off to find this portal. He leaves and I'm left to deal with this crap show of dragons. Kinda. See, I died a lot on the outside area trying to get past the Draugr and the dragons. The Draugr would be easy, but it's the dragons taking pot shots at me when I'm not expecting it is what's getting me good. Died enough times that I couldn't count the deaths on my fingers and toes combined before I decided to just run the crap past everything. At least on the outside. Ran past making it to the temple. I'll kill everything in here. Nice to work on my destruction skill. I don't really want to be running past things all of the time, but that was really frustrating. Hangman's Noose is still really fun to use. Just like Strangulation, when I kill something, it gets sent into the air. My favorite thing to do is to try to loot it in the air before it hits the ground. With the Fortified Destruction potions and a full Magicka bar, we could do a nice chunk of damage to these guys. I know I just said I don't want to keep running past enemies, but as soon as I get back outside, I'm running for that Sovngarde portal. Made it to one of those doors that needs a dragon claw to open, and this is the guy carrying the claw we need. Thought because it was a death claw, I'd be in trouble, but nope. Dealt with bigger and badder in almost every room before this one. Got the Diamond Claw. Punched in the right combo and opened her up. I'm out. Just ran to the left, whirlwind sprinted over here and up the stairs where the dragon priest is guarding the portal to Sovngarde. Stunned the jerk and ran on past into the portal. I've made it to Sovngarde. It's foggy in here. We're using clear skies to make it a little bit easier to see. We have to find a way to defeat the World Eater, who is definitely very much here. Met this hunk of meat outside the Hall of Vale, who won't let me pass until I pass his warrior's test. He sadly turned me inside out a couple of times, but I got him in the end, spamming fireballs and potions. He let me pass across the Bone Bridge and into the Hall of Vale to talk to the 3 heroes I seen send Alduin to... Wait, I've got a bone to pick with you jerks. We went out to challenge Alduin, crossing the Bone Bridge and casting Clear Skies together to clear the fog, forcing him out of hiding. This fight is a Dragonrend Clear Skies party. Spamming fireballs and constantly spamming Dragonrend to keep the jerk down. He still does the rockfall attack, which is fun. Swapping to Clear Skies to quickly stop it. Also chugging potions like you wouldn't believe. Probably going through all of these. And I did go through all of these. Ran out before we got him permanently grounded, but had the 3 heroes to help taking him down, so I'm not just relying on my Magicka regenerating. Now that he's grounded, they can chip away at the World Eater's health while I throw some fireballs when I can and keep the rocks falling from the sky at bay. Got one last good shot on him, and he is dead. He's dead, for real this time. Consumed his soul and turned him into stone. This guy can send me back home. So he does, and I'm greeted by a load of sky geckos at the throat of the world. Only 11 days behind schedule, but there is the first of the 3 big bosses dead. Anyway, I'd love to stick around and chat, but it's cold and I gotta go. It's day 44 and I'd love to move right on to one of the other storylines. But I have no potions, and I'd like to wait for another harvest to not make it so difficult on me. I'm not sure what to do in the meantime though. Maybe check on some shops. I do have some junk to sell, and I'm keeping an eye out for alchemy and destruction enchants. All the destruction enchanted items I'm finding are all on light armor. I'm getting all of the other Magicka school enchants on perfect bits of gear, but not destruction. Oh, I did get a shield. I'm thinking about maybe trying to use one. I got it favorited and hotkeyed too, so I can be blocking and bam, switch to my fire to cast and right back. Not that the shield will do very much for me yet. It made no difference to that cat. Solitude's next. I'm not exactly rich at the minute, so hopefully whatever I end up seeing, if anything, is in my budget. Like the shield. I know I just got a shield, but this one's better with more armor and a Magicka resistant enchant on it. Cost me 14 hundo. That's all I got here. I'm trying to decide if it's too early to go check on my potion ingredients. It might be. Oh, it looks like it's not too early. They're all grown. I guess this is what we're doing for the rest of the day, and we'll start the vampire business next to take down Lord Harkon. We get on average 100 fortified Magicka potions out of each run. We go through them pretty quickly, but we could do a harvest like every 3 days. Alright, I got a lot of potions made. Let's go see what these vampires are poking around looking for. Totally my first time playing, so I have no idea. Last thing we did for the Dawnguard DLC was sign up at Fort Dawnguard and get a job to go check out Dim Hollow Crypt to see what the vampires are trying to find there. I'm cold, so I'm warming up on this fire before going in. This place is loaded with bloodsuckers. The way this first room went, I thought I was set to go through this place like it was nothing. Killed the few vampires and the Death Hound pretty easy. Even the second area here was easy enough. Love fighting me some skeletons. This is where things start to get a little rough. Vampires are having a hard time with the locals too. Fighting vampires, spiders, and draugrs. And this is where I start dying. There are so many blooded vampires, which are a little tougher than the regular basic ones. Trying to balance Hangman's Noose to heal and fireballs to do some good damage. And also taking potions when I need them. There's a lot going on, and they got the better of me a good few times. These Death Hounds are also very fast, and it's hard to make them stagger. Slowly but surely worked my way through best I could until I made it to the main room, where I was surprised at how quick the enemies in the room died. Had to check I was still on legendary difficulty, but we're good. Gave my hand a good poke on this thing to start the simple puzzle. We just have to push the braziers to the end of the flames to continue the fire on until it meets the start of the flames. And then the ground will drop down, revealing a stone monolith we can touch to free a mysterious woman. She's a vampire named Serana. I'm shocked. She has an Elder Scroll on her back too and wants help getting back to her family castle. The enemies don't stop there. The way back is blocked off, so we gotta push through gargoyles and draugr. Should be pretty easy with me and Serana picking away at them nicely. I'm out, but I want my horse back. Gotta climb around the mountain to grab it. The family castle is just behind Solitude. Not too far away, maybe a 5-minute walk. Are these guys stuck in the snow? He kinda deserves it. Thalmor getting stuck in the snow, shoulder deep, I'm not gonna complain. I made it. Made it to the boat that can take us over to her family castle. Looks cool on the outside. Let's head on in. Or not. Serana's not here. Great. Can't go in without her. Traveling back and forth to the castle doesn't make her pop in, which is weird. It's cold too, so I can't stand around all day. Luckily, I went into a cave down the road and she popped in. And we can go into the castle where I met her father, Lord Harkon. He's the boss of this place and is so happy to see Serana and the Elder Scroll returned that I'm offered a gift. A gift to become a vampire lord. Gave him a big fat nope and got kicked out. Yep. Being a vampire will give us a destruction spell I need for my collection, but I'll do that later because I don't want to deal with the vampires not regenerating magicka during the day. I'll get that spell last minute because it sucks anyway. Ooh, Balamond, you spoil me. Steel Helmet of Magicka gives me 30 points of magicka. That's 3 levels worth of attribute points. It's not as good as the steel one when it comes to the armor rating, but it's not a huge drop and it's worth it for the enchantment. I'm in Riften, by the way, heading down towards Fort Dawnguard to tell him the stupid thing I just did. Some vampires have turned up attacking the fort. Plenty of us here to take them down, but I just hit that guy and I think everyone hates me now. Yeah, he definitely hates me. I'm back. Make sure there's no friendly fire this time. Told Isran I took the vampire back to her powerful family, and he wasn't best pleased. Oh, and she had an Elder Scroll too. I know, it's dumb, I did that. I didn't write the story here, okay? We are dusting ourselves off and says we could use some new recruits. 2 former vampire hunters called Serene and Gunma. Let's go see if we can track them down with the info he gave us. Right after I do a few training sessions. I can't afford the 5 levels because it's expensive now, but I got the free. I do sell things when I can, so I'll do more as we go on. Gunma's not far. Just south of Riften, you can find him hunting a bear. Not the one he's currently fighting. Killed that one and had a chat with him saying Isran needs his help with a vampire menace and that they have an Elder Scroll because I delivered it to them. He said he'll come, but not till he's killed the bear he's been tracking. So I helped set the poor thing on fire. I'm using firebolts a lot lately instead of the fireballs. With there being friendlies around, I kinda don't want to hit them with the better spells. These bolts are a lot easier to not have friendly fire. It's dead, and he's going back to the fort. The Breton lady is all the way over in the reach of all places, so I'm taking the carriage. I made it, and I'm sick again, I think. Severe bone break fever. Drains my stamina. Can't remember where a shrine is in Markov, if there is one. I do have this cure disease potion. No idea where I got it, but I think I'll save it if I can. Just deal with the fever until I get back to Riften. I know there's one in there, and we'll pass by to get to Fort Dawnguard again anyway. The Breton lost her bag of Dwemer gyros, and won't leave until she finds them. She swears a mud crab ran off with it. Down by the water, you can find the bag pretty easily, and returning them to her, she will agree to come help with the vampires. I'm pretty beat up. I'm sick, very tired, and starving. Step 1 is to rent a room and get my head down. Step 2, eat some food, get nice and full. Lastly, praise Talos. Touch the Shrine of Talos at the back of the town, and I'm all better now. Oh, a helmet with fortified destruction on it. I'll take it. That's the first heavy helmet I found with that. I like the look of this helmet better than the last one, too. Sold some potions around town, hoping to get enough gold to do the last 2 training sessions for my current level with Isran. Why is there an assassin after me? What? I'm so nice. The note these guys have don't have a name on it, but someone performed the Black Sacrament and wants me dead. Imagine wanting someone called Jigglypuff assassinated. What a loser. They have some more defenses up. Should keep the vampires out. Isran's also sus that one of us is a vampire, but we're not, so it's all good. Did those other 2 training sessions I wanted to do, and Serana's here. Yep, Isran's not happy, but she's here to help. Tells me all about how her father's not a very great person, and that he's trying to fulfill a prophecy he stumbled upon, where vampires no longer fear the sun. We need to figure out what the Elder Scroll says on her back, but we can't read it. We need a Moth priest to read this one. Isran says he's heard one was wandering into Skyrim recently, but didn't know where he was now. Serana also wants to tag along.
Actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to come along with you.
Gave her a big fat nope, and before leaving, I leveled up and spent a perk point on the Tower of Strength perk. So now I stagger less when hit if I'm wearing only heavy armor. Might help me not panic so much during fights. The game wants us to ask around the world, talking to carriage drivers, innkeepers, and around the College of Winterhold to see if I can find where the Moth Priest is. But I know he's near Dragon's Bridge, right around this general area on the map, south of Solitude. Those walls might be keeping the vampires out, but they are for sure still screwing around outside of it. There's 2 vampires out here. Get them good with some fire. Early morning day 51, I did persuade a carriage driver to tell me where he dropped off a Moth Priest recently. I knew where he was roughly, but passing that speech check will give me some XP into speech, so I'll do it. But like any good real life responsibilities, that Moth Priest can wait. I got flowers to pick. This has to be the first time I've done a harvest while having not run out of potions yet. That's a good sign. Means there's no magical bottleneck lately, and now we can start building up more than we've had before. When my ingredient run ends is where we need to be to find the Dragon Priest, so that's nice. We're over by Solitude, and Dragon Bridge is just down the road from here. I want to make these potions before I go though. And it's late. Store should be closed, and I can't remember where another alchemist station was in town. Thought there was one in the Blue Palace, but nope. Guess we can trespass in the potion shop. Or not. It's open. It's gone 11 p.m. Why? I'm not even gonna question it. Made a few potions until I hit alchemy level 80 and dropped a point into the last alchemist perk. That'll give us nicer potions, which means we shouldn't be using so many of them either. Let's go south to Dragon's Bridge. Once here, you can ask around about the Moth Priest situation. But I'm going right through the town, over the bridge itself, and right to where we need to go. Find a carriage that's been attacked. I'm going around to avoid the vampire attack on the road to follow the blood trail over to this cave where we can find the Moth Priest. And here we are. There are lots of vampires in here, and the priest is in that trap over there. Took some cheap shots at a group of them over there, but they did get the better of me the first time around. Second attempt, I sipped on some destruction potions and blew through them like they were skeletons. There's a few guarding the priest's prison. Took them down easy enough too, and grabbed this egg-looking thing from one of their bodies. Now we can put the egg on here to release the Moth Priest. But he's not very friendly. He's been brainwashed and doesn't want to fight, but is doing it anyway. His health dropped pretty quickly with the fireball spam, and after lowering enough of his health, he chills out and the brainwashness wears off. He seems eager to help with the vampire menace. Told him to get his butt back to the fort. Turns out at some point in there, I contracted the vampire disease too. The next day on the other side of the map now at Riften, and I can't afford to be blessed. Too poor to praise Talos for a minute. I woke up the town and started selling potions and other bits of junk. Thalmor, you tease. Just bought this helmet, and now he has the last helmet I had, which had a higher armor rating, but it has the destruction enchant I swapped my current one for. I bought it and sold what I had. Gotta take the small upgrades when I can. I can afford to be blessed by Talos now. Get rid of that vampire crap. Speaking of crap, I beat the crap out of Maven with a plate before leaving on my horse for Fort Dawnguard. The priests made it. We got him to read the Elder Scroll for us. And apparently we need 3 scrolls for the full prophecy. The one that came with Serana, the one I got to learn Dragonrend from the Blackreach area, and then Serana's mum has one. Her mum and dad don't see eye to eye on things, and spoilers, she took the scroll and run with it to keep Serana safe, because eventually her father will need Serana's blood to fulfill that prophecy. We get to talking, and Serana thinks it's not entirely impossible. Her mum's still at the family castle. Serana's coming along this time. She's needed for this quest, sadly. I love this DLC. Only bad thing about it is how far apart the objectives are. Just came from Solitude, and now I'm going all the way back up that way to literally the furthest location from my current point. We're going back to the castle. There's a courtyard at the castle that her father found too peaceful and hated it there. Serana thinks it's a good place to go looking for her mom if she's still there. Gonna make sure to sleep at Solitude before I go though. I want to have my entire Magicka bar to play with whenever possible. And we are off. Off on a pretty lengthy journey to find her mom. First, we aren't going in through the front gates. We're instead going to the left of the castle to find this abandoned inlet they use to get supplies into the castle. There's still enemies here though. They're all bone and I kinda need to be quicker. It's very cold out here and yeah, that'll do it. Second try, I actually still didn't get them killed. It's too cold and I had to retreat inside to where we're heading. They didn't follow me, so that's nice. Just gonna leave those meatless suckers. Vampires in here. Some ferals. Along with easy ferals, there are skeevers, more skeletons, and spiders. Yep, lots of nasties in here. Killing a number of those, I made it to that courtyard that was mentioned. There is this moon dial that has some crests missing. Scattered around the yard, and finding them all and returning them will reveal a secret staircase to another area of the castle that Serana's not even been to before. Lots more skeletons in here. I love fighting these normally, but they aren't all the kind that crumble when you touch them, sadly. Definitely some awkward ones to deal with. Did get my destruction to level 60 too. That's good because now we can get the second level of the augmented perks. They give, instead of 25%, they give 50 more damage to either of the spell types you can use. I'm taking augmented flames to make my fire spells do more damage since I've been using them a lot around these vampires. This guy is very much alive. Just gotta pull this chain and yeah, there he is. Pretty easy to deal with, time and stagger to keep them rocked. One thing that's not easy to deal with is Serana in this place. I'm not sure if I'm just unlucky or everyone gets this a lot, but she gets stuck the entire time going through here. Normally backing up out of the place and running back through fixes it. Every time I go through here, she's a pain in the neck. I made it to this place. Grabbed her mom's journal over here and handed it over. Serana says the circle in the middle of the room is a portal to the soul Cairn. Cairn. I don't know how to say it. I'm told I say it wrong in previous videos. It's a plane of oblivion inhabited by trapped souls and undead. I grabbed all of the ingredients to put in a pot, open the portal. But it needs her mother's blood also. Lucky for us, Serana shares her blood, so we can just use hers. There is another issue. I can't enter without being torn apart. I have two choices. Vampires can enter. So she offers to turn me again, or she can partially soul trap me. I really don't want to be a vampire in this run, so I'll take the soul trapping. Now, we can enter. Partial soul trapping makes me a lot weaker. We can get our soul back from in here, but let's go find the mom. Besides having some bone men to kill, the rest of the walk was fairly stress-free. We have to get to that castle up there. We found mom, and she hates me already. Story of my life. After a good telling off, she says we can have the Elder Scroll she has, but there's a force field between us that has to be shut down. See, there's 3 keepers around to kill. Killing all of them will lower the wall in the way. The first one was up high on this tower, so just staggered him off the edge, and he's dead. 2 left. The others are all on the ground. This one is in the open. Nice and easy kill. Final one, and that's all 3 down. The wall's down, and now we have a dragon to worry about called Dawnguard. He wanders the Soul Cairn and is probably gonna show up to see what's going on. And he did. The Soul Cairn has taken its toll on him, and he's a funky looking dragon. Also one of the easiest ones I've taken down. Buffed up with potions and spammed like crazy. He spawns bone men throughout the fight, but I let the vampires aggro them and focused on this guy. Once he dies, all the spawns die with it. Mom is surprised, says Dawnguard can't be slain by normal means, and killing him probably just displaced his physical form while he reconstitutes himself. Gotta grab the scroll and leave. Mom's staying here though. We can't leave. I exited the castle looking thing and was met with the zombie dragon himself.
Cursed, not dead. Doomed to exist in this form for eternity. Trapped between Laas and Enoch. Between life and death.
He seems pretty nice now. Gives me a shout where I can call him to Tamriel to fight with me. I won't, but I can. I was about to leave back through the portal, but forgot to grab my soul. Yeah, there's a giant soul gem here, housing my soul. And we just have to make it through this building and to the top to quickly open this box. Take my soul and lag it. Now we can leave for real, and my strength is back to normal. That's all 3 scrolls collected. Better get the 2 new ones back to Dexian. Sadly don't have footage of day 56 because of the travel distance means I make it passing by Riften very early morning day 57. First scroll he read had made him blind because he didn't take proper precautions before reading. So the jerk won't look at the other 2. He says we can read it. But he gives me some info on how to prepare so I don't go blind. I'm to get a draw knife and carefully get the bark off a tree in an ancestor's glade. So the special moths in there will follow me and grant me the second sight to read the scroll myself. There's one conveniently in Skyrim. It's also over by Falkreath. So when we are done, we can do a potion run. Made it to Falkreath very late. Didn't even see the sun today. I need to sleep because my vision's getting fuzzy. Okay, I've not mentioned, but the prophecy Harkon is pursuing involves a powerful bow called Auriel's bow that can be used to shoot the sun and block it out until the following morning. We are after that bow next. Just gotta find its location. I made it to the glade. I did try to get Serana to leave me alone, but she refuses to go, sadly.
And go where? You can't just leave me alone whenever you feel like it. I'm coming with you, like it or not.
Going deeper into the glade, we find this beautiful place where the moths chill out. And there is the blade. Taking it over to this tree, we can scratch off the bark carefully. Now the moths will follow us. We just have to get 7 groups of them circling us. And now we can read the Blood Elder Scroll in the light to reveal its secrets. I get shown a map, and the secret is the exact location of Auriel's bow. It's in Darkfall Cave, up near Solitude. Vampires show up, trying to make sure we don't make it out of here alive. And I tell you what, they will not succeed. Alright, let's hit up our properties since they're in a nice line on the way to Darkfall Cave. I got the Falkreath home. Now for the farm. Stupid vampires are everywhere at this point in the storyline. Literally around every corner. Oh well, I could always use the extra fertilizer. Stopping into Solitude itself before a long journey to the bow. I'm glad I did because I got a circlet with an alchemy enchant on it. That's 3 items total with alchemy, which means our potion supply will last even longer with the slight upgrade to their strength. They're also weighing me down a lot at this point. My carry weight sucks, and well, I have a lot of them to carry around. Making sure to rest up and get that little bit of magicka back before we go.
This next song goes out to the Dragonborn, the savior of Skyrim. Alduin's wings, they did darken the sky. His roar furies fire, and his scales sharpened sides. Men ran and they cowered, and they fought and they died. They burned and they bled, as they issued their cries. We need saviors to free us from Alduin's rage. Heroes on the field of this new war to wage. And if Alduin wins, man is gone from this world, lost in the shadow of the black wings unfurled. But then came the tongues on that terrible day. Steadfast as winter, they entered the fray, and all heard the music of Alduin's doom, that sweet song of Skyrim, sky-shattering plume. And so the tongues freed us from Alduin's rage, gave the gift of the voice, ushered in a new age. And if Alduin's eternal, then eternity's done, for his story is over, and the dragons are gone.
I made it to a snow elf god in a way shrine. He asks a favor for a favor. He'll help me by getting me through the way shrine, but wants me to kill his brother for him. Family issues. His brother is apparently in with Thalmor, who caused him some trouble. He gives me a bucket to go through a symbolic ritual to get into the place his brother's at to take him out. We have to fill the bucket at a bunch of water basins at every other way shrine, and then pour that water at the door of the structure he's at, and then the door will open for us. We can go through this portal to a pretty cool place. Starting off in a cave. Pretty big cave. There are so many Thalmor in here to deal with. I didn't die once in the cave, but it took me a very long time to get through. We can freely sip on potions, having so many. They'll last till the end of this place easy. This area looks cool. The next way shrine is in this place too. Got some funny looking sabers in the area to deal with and deer to freak out, but there it is. Got the guy to raise the sucker and got some water from it. It opened a portal to a new cave. And this one isn't as big as the last one. It actually takes you out to a new area that's cold as heck. But it's okay. The next way shrine is very close. Just around this corner, and bam. Got the guy to raise it up and took some water. More portals will open up, taking you to previous way shrines as you go. So I can use this one to take me back to Darkfall Passage. But I'm pressing on though. Might have to use the next portal to get warm in the cave. Spiders to kill at this pass. 8 bugs. Not scared of them, but they make me itchy. The other side of the pass is impressive looking. I love this DLC, and this area is potentially my favorite area in it. Next way shrines to the left over here. Raised it up and got some water. Like I said, it's cold, and I should use this portal to get back to Darkfall Passage and warm up in the cave. Just gotta wait here for a minute. Now for a dash to the next way shrine. Some cool waterfalls. Wish I could stand around and take it all in, but I'm on the move. Got the next one up, and again took the water and went back to Darkfall Passage to warm up. Getting cold pretty quick out here. Just to the side of that way shrine, there's a really cool area where you can do a double dragon fight just over there. The dragons pop out of the ice, and it's quite fun. But I'm not doing it. Instead, we're going through this Thalmor Valley. There's potentially more Thalmor here in this area than any other part of the game. Maybe. I don't know, but it's a lot. I'm glad I have Serana despite trying to get rid a few times. I am ditching her the second I get a chance, but I'm not complaining about her being here. is a nice human shield. After countless Thalmor in the valley and in caves, I finally made it to the last way shrine. That was like 40 minutes of Thalmor. Now over here to get to the inner sanctum. Just talking about this being my favorite area in the DLC, and I'm curious, what's your favorite area in all of Skyrim? Not just this DLC, but the whole game. The game's so big that I feel like I'm still discovering things all these years later, and I bet there's some cool places I've missed somehow. Ignoring the Nirnroot quest, I really like Blackreach personally. I poured the water in that basin, and the door unlocks, allowing me to enter. There's lots of frozen Thalmor in here. Feels, eerie, almost. Not almost. It's 100% eerie. But I found the Snow Elf's brother, who I'm supposed to kill. Jerk doesn't just lay down and die, but instead has the frozen enemies start moving, and they aren't very friendly. Fireball spammed best I could. Kinda satisfying killing them. They shatter into icy pieces, and it's good fun. But he's kicking off and brings down the entire structure on top of us. It's not over yet. Need to put him down and get that bow. Serana gives some encouragement, and we chase him down. He's hurt. Serana picks him up, and turns out he's a vampire, and he's been controlling the Thalmor. The brother thought the Thalmor had been controlling him, but nope. He breaks out of Serana's hold, and we have a fight on our hands. A really crappy fight. He spawned a frost Atronach that attacks Serana, but I'll just spam dual fireballs to keep him staggered and make this as easy as possible. He's dead, which means the Atronach is gone with him. Made sure to loot his corpse and throw it off the edge. His brother turns up. Probably shouldn't have tossed the proof, but he's happy I apparently killed his bro, and I can take Auriel's bow. This bow is pretty fun, but I'm not using it to do damage to anything, obviously. Might show it off later. Serana says it's time we face her father. Taking the portal back to Darkfall, and we better get over to the vampire castle and get this done. Having travel difficulties. Carriage driver won't take me. I think Serana is somewhere fighting something, and it's not letting me chat with this guy because there's fighting going on God knows where. After travel and needing to sleep, there is no footage for day 61 again. Vampires riddle the roads all the way to Fort Dawnguard though. One up by the gates to deal with too. But I made it. With Auriel's bow in hand and the Dawnguard ready for the final assault, it's time to take down a vampire lord. Did a cheeky training session with Esbern before he ran out the door. Fire is the way to go here. Lord Harkon is weak to fire, so if we buff destruction and spam firebolts, we should be able to take him down pretty easily. Gonna make sure to rest up at the closest town to the castle, which is Solitude, to make sure I've got all of my magicka up and ready. Rested up, ate, and got on my horse for a short trip over to Icewater Jetty. A little quick save never hurt anyone. Chances are I'm dying here sooner or later. I took the boat over and met up with the other Dawnguard members. Seems quiet until you hit the gargoyle statues that come to life and there's a war on the bridge. Vampires, deathhounds, and gargoyles versus the Dawnguard. You can just leave them to it and run for Harkon, I think. But I'm gonna help take everyone down to level up my destruction some. Getting it to level 100 is going pretty slowly. We took down the last of the vampires on the outside and headed on in. Now in the main room, there is a big fight between the two sides. Once again, I'll help take them all down. Didn't have any issue with these vampires, but this one gave me some trouble. The first attempt was pretty good. I cut off his conversation with fireballs and very quickly got his health to the point where he goes to the middle here to heal. To stop him healing, you have to shoot at the ball with Auriel's bow and he's back on the ground to fight. You'll do that a lot of times until we kill him. It was going way too well. Thought I had this in the bag, but then this stupid gargoyle got me. Then I get stuck in a loop of terrible attempts. I died like 3 more times. Even had a glitch where he'd just stand there and we couldn't do any damage to him. My issue was not killing all of the other enemies he conjures up during the fight. And killing the waves of enemies quickly means we can just focus on Harkon. Did that until finally I got the last hit on him and turned his vampire butt into jam. That's it. That's the end of the Dawnguard DLC and the second enemy on our hit list dead. Serana says if I have any more adventures to take her on, she would be happy to come along. Gave her a nope and looted her father's melted corpse. Got a ring of eminent destruction. Nice. That's better than the destruction ring I've been using. Oh, and the bow, by the way. Quick demonstration. I won't use it for real, but I can fire the sun-hollowed arrows at the sun to cause sunburst attacks to hit enemies nearby. Ooh, radiant raiment. Again, giving me upgrades. I got a better alchemy circlet. Speaking of alchemy, I spent the rest of the day harvesting my ingredients. We are ahead of schedule, which is great because we very much weren't at one point. 2 bosses down, 1 to go. We can take our time on that one. One thing we can't take our time on is our destruction skill level, because we're about the same level with that as the day we were on, and it's gonna get increasingly hard to level it the higher it gets. Picking our potions here, and we are going looting. Oh, I sold my shield too. Haven't really been using it like I thought I would, and it's a little heavy. Got the second augmented frost perk too. That's flames, frost, and augmented shock maxed out, all doing 50% more damage. Taking on a giant's camp first. I've been taking the stuff and leaving in the past, but with all of these potions, we can easily take down the poor giants and mammoths and level my destruction. I was planning on saving my gold to do heavy armor training sessions, but I feel like maybe we should do a session of destruction training at this point. Kinda worried we won't max out the tree here if I don't. My looting and leveling trip took me to Solitude. I need to start getting more of the spells brought up too. There's a lot into the destruction school if we're including the anniversary edition spells. Oh, and I did get this pair of ebony gauntlets too. I didn't purchase it. I found it somewhere. Hopefully I start finding more ebony stuff soon. Looking very mix-matched right now. I look like a bag of pick-a-mix. This was honestly another day of just running around trying to make as much gold as possible. I made it to Winterhold with over 10,000 gold. Sounds like a lot, but it's not going to get as far, despite it being the most gold I've had on my person at any one time with this character. What we'll do is 5 training sessions for destruction, and then whatever is left, which won't be much, we'll spend on spells. Each training session is going to cost us 2,000 gold. I know I don't have the cloak spells, so I'll take all of those. That's all of my gold gone already. These spells can be used to create this effect around me that harms enemies when they get close. I have a frost, shock, and fire one. But yeah, that is only 14 destruction spells collected total. I feel like we should focus on getting more of those jerks. As for perks, I did get the Disintegrate perk. Shock damage disintegrates targets if their health is low. Essentially meaning targets have a little less health when I'm using shock spells. Another day of bullying giants today. They carry a nice little chunk of gold on them alone and always have some other good bits in the chests. The big problem is getting around trying to find enough people to buy my stuff. I can loot pretty quick and make lots of potions on the go to sell, but traders only have so much gold before you have to wait for them to replenish their inventory. You'd pass it by my homes, harvesting my ingredients as I go too. Potions really aren't an issue anymore. Seem to always have plenty. But yeah, traders. Going around the map in a circle, getting as much gold as I can. Forgot to record any more of my business dealings on day 67, but that's all it was anyway. I'm back at the College of Winterhold with a somewhat fat wallet. Picked up 5 more spells, bringing us to a total of 19 spells. Not bad. What sucks is that they're all expert spells I got today, and they're all pretty expensive to cast versus my other spells, because I don't have the expert destruction perk. Ice Spear is the first one. Looks just like Ice Spike to me. Might look different when I impale someone with it. Same with Incinerate, really. Does a lot more damage than Firebolt, but it looks pretty similar when I'm not hitting a target. The walls spells I got look fun though. I have 3 of them. 1 fire, shock, and ice. These leave a trail of whatever you cast that does damage when people step on them. Kinda wanna go try them out, but I'm gonna eat through so many potions without that expert perk, so I won't for now. I lied. I can't wait to impale someone with my new spear. These wolves will do just fine. Oh, that is a nice big spear. Defo bigger than the spikes we used to shoot. Actually going back to Embershard Mine because everyone's respawned there by now and it's a good place to try out these spells. Got this guy nice and impaled. Love this spell, might be my new favorite. Incinerate is kind of boring though. Would be cool to have a flame and shock spear instead, maybe. Tried out all of the new spells in here. The wall spells are nice. Cast them on the floor and run around a bunch to kill them. Feel like it's gonna be one I don't use very much. But yeah, the ice spear is a lot of fun. Don't know why. It's just having the spear sticking out of them looks great. Still not cut out for the cold though. The icy hands don't seem to make me colder, same as the fire hands somehow don't make me warm. Alongside Embershard Mine, I'm also hitting Bleak Falls one more time to mess around with my new spells. Stormed through the bandits outside so I don't freeze to death. Loving the ice spells lately. Using Ice Storm too. Can hit multiple enemies with this guy. I'm in. I got a cinematic final kill that went absolutely nowhere. You get those with the destruction spells even when you aren't about to kill anything, and it's more trouble than good. Gives enemies time to do their own thing while I'm stood in the cinematic scene looking like an idiot. Gonna blast this one and move on. Good thing about using the expert spells is we get significantly more XP using them than the old spells. Got 2 levels total for destruction in here, which is pretty good for how high a level the skill tree is. Lifestealed my way down the Skiva staircase, incinerated the spider, nice and good. Got the Drago with a combination of spells and traps. I couldn't help it. Troll up here. I spiked the life out of him and moved on to the final room. Last guy also went down very quickly. 6 shots total, and he's dead. Bleak Falls is done once again. Getting close to the Expert Destruction perk. I'll start going after Miraak when I get it. Day 70 is the last day of running around. I'm gonna hit up some traders again and also grab my ingredients I'm growing real quick to make more potions. Made a boatload of those suckers for Solstheim and even got a slightly better necklace that gives me more health than the old one. I'm over in Winterhold and we have a long day ahead of us. First things first, off to see Ferelda to train my destruction. I love the ice spears, by the way, Ferelda. Did just 2 training sessions to get us to destruction level 75 and bought some spells. The important one is Thunderbolt, but I did also get the rune spells. Thunderbolt is just a better lightning bolt, and the rune spells are traps you can place, and when enemies get close, they will set off. Got a frost, lightning, and fire one, but I'm not sure how often I'll use those. 4 more spells to add to our collection, and I'm also taking the Expert Destruction spell thanks to those training sessions getting me to level 75. Right, we gotta catch a boat to leave for Solstheim. Just gotta threaten this guy outside Windhelm at the docks to take me. We've made it, getting off the boat in the town of Ravenrock, and I'm ready to impale Miraak with my ice spears. Sadly, it's not that easy, because I got distracted almost immediately. Checking around the merchants in town and got a quest from this guy to get his Nordic pickaxe back from someone in the mine in town. The guy who has the pickaxe goes on about how this mine holds a secret that could put Ravenrock back on the map. I said I'd help him get through the mine. It's filled with baddies, but I do want to get that pickaxe off him still. He wasn't very happy about it, but did return it, and I returned it to the blacksmith, who just let me have it. Yeah, he just wanted to remind that man you can't just go around taking things. I don't want it, just sold it right back to him. Okay, let's go explore this mine. There is a lot of enemies in here. Skeevers and spiders before we get into this boarded off section. Zapped the wood off and had a look what's on the other side. Draugr. Lots and lots of Draugr. These expert spells are still costing an insane amount of magicka, to be honest. They'll get to the point where it won't be so bad, but they are a drain for sure. Fast forwarding through the endless pool of undead, I made it to this room. You can get a really cool greatsword here on this corpse that we'll need to use to progress. It fires waves of energy when you do heavy attacks, and we have to line up the waves with the lines in the walls to open up the door to this trap-infested area. Made it through pretty easily, but at the very end, there is a dragon's priest to deal with. He has a pretty cool mask too that helps with lightning spells. Started using the expert spells, spamming ice spears and sipping on potions like my life depends on it, because in this case, it does. It's actually a lot easier to switch to weaker spells like Lightning Bolt to stagger the crap out of him. The thing that screwed me here was the cinematic camera shots when he got very low on health. They weren't killing it or even hitting it, and they gave the priest time to get a shot off on me between the staggers, and I'm dead again. Third time's not the charm. Switched to fireballs, and his health was dropping very quickly. Didn't realize till I got the mask off him later, but the mask gives a big resistance to lightning damage, so lightning bolt was a bad one to use on him. I'm dead again. Fourth try, spammed him best I could with the fireballs and just hoped for the best. And the best came. He died, and now I can grab his lightning mask. And I'm not sure if I'm using it or not. Kinda wanted to stick with a 15% cheaper destruction helmet, but this one is nice. Gives me a 25% damage increase to lightning spells, and also gives me a 50% resistance to the spells too. Looks weird, but that's the story of my life with this playthrough. I'll keep it and maybe switch between stuff as I go. Aurelius's house is locked because it's late, so I can't tell him about all of the stuff I found. Thing is, with sleeping here on Solstheim, is Miraak has some kind of hold on this place, and when I sleep, I wake up in a rando place working on one of his structures. I need to come back here later. This is Miraak's temple, but I got business in Ravenrock first. It's morning and his house door is now unlocked. Told him about the discoveries down there and was given 500 gold for my trouble. Right, back to the Miraak situation. Just on the edge of Ravenrock, you can find the Earthstone that has some brainwashed people working on it. There's also a fellow dark elf here called Neloth checking the place out too. Doesn't seem very brainwashed. Told him I'm here looking for someone called Miraak, but he says it's impossible he's resurfaced because he's been dead for thousands of years. Says a good place to investigate is the Temple of Miraak further inland, where we just came from. Sold the Bloodskull blade too. It's heavy, and I'm never gonna use it or display it. I'm off back to the temple just up here where I met Freya. She's here to free or avenge her people who are brainwashed working on Miraak's temple for some reason. We team up to go through the inside section of the temple. Cultists met us at the door. Easy enough to kill these guys with 2 of us on them. Gonna use this mask 2 in here and focus on shock spells. The cultists use a lot of spells, so draining their magicka might be a good idea. I don't know, but I'm doing it. Along with the cultists, there's a nice number of Draugr to deal with. Really easy with a meat shield like Freya. Stay behind her and let her take all of the aggro like a champ. One thing I've been forgetting about a lot is my ancestors' wrath power the dark elves get. Lets me light up like a human torch and we can do some extra fire damage to enemies that get close. You can only use powers once a day though. Might be why I forget it exists, but it's nice. Started using the basic spark spells too. With the mask I'm wearing, the potions buffing the power of my spells, along with the perks, it seems to be doing a nice amount of damage and costing not a lot of magicka. I can't stagger anyone with sparks, but I have the quest companion to be the tank, so it doesn't really matter. Made it to the end and found a black book. Giving it a read, you get sucked into the stupid thing and right to where Miraak is hiding. You got a bit of a jump scare, seeing me, and 2 seem to use the basic spark spells to knock me to the ground. Man of taste, I see, and crap spells.
Soon they will finish building my temple, and I can return home. Send him back where he came from. He can await my arrival with the rest of Auriel.
Can't wait to stagger the crap out of him. His freaky looking friend zapped me back to Tamriel while he flies off on his pet dragon. I tell Freya what I found, and we run off to tell her father in a village that seems protected from Miraak's powers over the island. Told him what I found too. Miraak is too a dragonborn just like me. He says there's a shout I can learn to help free the people from his hold. It's 12 a.m. Now I have to go to an area that has a Dragonguard in the shout we need, but the 2 places I've hit here have been a drain on my potion supply. Might have enough for the dragon, but I'm not gonna risk it. Taking the boat back to Skyrim for 250 gold. Then the carriage over to Falkreath for 50 gold. Gonna buy some food and rest up here before leaving in the morning. I'll hit shops as we go maybe to be able to get some training sessions or get more spells before we go back to Solstheim. Business day again. I hit Greypine goods first. Like I said, we're here off Solstheim to get potions. I'm gonna weave between towns and properties as I go. Are you smoking a broom? You should really think about quitting. After the Falkreath trader, I hit Riverwood's general store trader. Always have so much junk to sell. I take everything valuable and sell regularly because inventory space sucks in survival mode and I've not invested into anything weight related. Wide Run is next. Don't have much for the blacksmiths now, but I can trade with Belethor and the alchemists. Noticed I had a perk point I'd not spent yet too. I got Deep Freeze. Frost damage paralyzes targets if their health is low. 2 more skills in the tree and we're done. The farm's up. Easily my best supply of ingredients. We got a big patch of stuff over here. Little patch of stuff over to the side. And grab the extras the farmhands worked so hard to gather for me. Who did I disintegrate? I can't remember turning anyone into ash in my house. Next stop is Morphal's alchemy store. Not many traders in this town as far as I know. 1 potion and she's basically out of coin. Is that your kid? Do I gotta call a guard? I think that's her kid. Last home is the one over by Solitude, which is perfect. I love visiting that place. Got my plants and ran into town. Didn't find anything to buy, which is probably a good thing. Ferelder is a gold hog at the minute, and I should be giving it all to her. But I did see at some point recently, I got my alchemy skill to level 100, which is cool. Does mean we'll be leveling a little bit slower without the extra XP we would get from it, but that's okay. Got some pretty good potions to play with now. Traveled 1 way across the map by horseback, and now I'm being treated to a carriage over to Winterhold.
Trouble?
Nope, no trouble. But there's about to be. Ferelder wants just shy of 4,000 gold per training session. You know what? I'm gonna just buy books. I know I don't have these elemental spells. I just tried to clear out what she had that I didn't have. I think I might have everything now. There's more spells to get, but for what she currently sells, it looks like we're good. And you know, I don't think I've ever tried the elemental spells before. They aren't in the base game, I don't think. Pretty sure there's some of the spells Anniversary Edition added. They seem very OP. What on earth? They do a mixture of all 3 elemental forms of damage. Does fire and shock damage, and also does a set number to enemy stamina too. And the expert one is way cheaper to cast than any of the other expert spells like Ice Spear and Incinerate, while also doing significantly more damage. I do have Touch of Death too, which is a better lifesteal spell than what I'd been using. Steals more health for longer. Should also start unfavorited in all of these spells. A little unnecessary having all of them favorited. Elemental Blast might be my new favorite spell. Let's get back to Solstheim and work on this Miraak mystery. Or so I thought. It again quickly hit a roadblock. I went to quickly just sleep a couple of hours to get my magicka back up ready for the dragon fight. And I woke up once again at one of Miraak's building areas, which is fine because I basically fast traveled a little closer to the shout and the dragon we're headed for. But it's getting later in the day now, and I'm not sure I'll make it to killing the dragon before freezing to death. So I seek shelter in a nearby cave. It's not warm so much in here, but it's better than being outside. This cave's full of Reiklins, small tribe-based creatures you can find in caves and out in the wild around Solstheim. They aren't very happy I'm wandering into their cave. Feel bad because I like the Reiklins, but I'm cold and I need something to do. I know I'm terrible, and yeah, this Elemental Blast spell is absolutely nuts. Notice that my mask is not only raising the shock damage, but also the fire damage it does. The huge damage increase, I think, is worth switching to this mask almost permanently over the destruction helmet I have. I'll keep it, just in case. Continued exploring this place throughout the night and found a shout at the end. Gave me a word to the cyclone shout. Your Thuum creates a whirling cyclone that sows chaos among your enemies. Chaos destruction might be perfect for my build. Oh, I didn't expect to find a black book in here. I guess while we wait for the sun to come up, we'll do some of these black books and explain what they're about a little. Reading them, you get pulled into Hermaeus Mora's realm, which is basically a huge library of knowledge from all over the universe. There's lots of these giant lurkers to deal with, along with Miraak's magic friends too. You have to get to these books that act as checkpoints. So if we go down and die, but not really, you start back at that chapter when you go back into the book. The goal is to fight your way through to get to the special power at the end of the book. You get tons of loot in these books too, and the end rewards are pretty cool. There's also these fish head looking things that regen magic or stamina depending on the color. They'll save us some potions. It's a bit of a puzzle to get through the books too, but I made it to the end where I can read this book and decide which power I want. You can sadly only have one power per book. I took the merchant power to let me summon a Dremora merchant to trade with. Using the power, this guy has a nice 2,000 gold to play with. Not sure how long it takes for him to restock that gold, but he'll come in extremely handy on the go when I need some inventory space back. Did the book I found earlier too, where I got my mask. Same deal in here. Fought my way through and got a power at the end. This time I took Lover's Insight to do 10% more damage and get 10% better prices from the opposite sex. It's morning, but it's still cold. I don't think it ever fully warms up here, but luckily, while blasting Draugr at the dragon site, I found some fire to stick my feet in to keep warm for a minute. Looks like a frost dragon. Elemental Blast is the most insane spell, melting everything at this point. Got an archer behind me. Use Cyclone to send him up and blast him on the way down. Dragon's also dead, but Miraak, also being Dragonborn, came to steal the soul from me. Like the Draugr are demonstrating, he can't be killed here. Took the bend, will, shout from the wall, and also got a new pair of shoes. I got some ebony sneakers that have a little bit more defense than my silver ones. Get that crap out of here. Now we take that bend, will, shout to the stones around the island where the people are brainwashed and... Oops, that was the wrong shout. Oh well, I guess in a way we're still freeing them. I used bend will on the stone to reveal the lurker. Killing the lurker means the people are free of its grasp. I did return to the Skull Village to report to Freya's dad, but yeah, they are not very happy to see me after I just killed their friends. Did all of what I just did again, but this time nicely, and told him of my success. He says there's more stones to cleanse around the island and that I should do that, but also tells me to go chat with Neloth if I want to find more black books to find Miraak. He can be found on the ashy area of the island, living in this giant mushroom. He knows exactly where the book is located that's tied to Miraak, but he's not been able to get to it. We go off to where it's at together. Cleared out the reavers on the outer area fairly easy, and then head on into the Dwemer structure. This place is one big puzzle, using cubes to raise and lower the water to be able to get around the place and get more cubes, all while fighting the insane amount of Dwemer machinery. Ended up with enough cubes to be able to turn the steam back on in the room with the black book and released it from its impenetrable case. Now we can read the book and try to see if we can get through it. Again, I'm back in Hermaeus Mora's realm, hoping to find an edge in my fight. Going for a series of simple puzzles and fighting off some of these losers to get through the chapters in the book. Just gotta move carefully and make it to the end. And I did. Made it to the end where I was confronted by the big bad Mora himself.
You are following in the footsteps of my servant Miraak. Like him, you are dragonborn, and seek the power that is your birthright.
Told him I was here to get help finding and beating Miraak. He gave me the next word to bend will and promised to give the third and final word if I traded him some knowledge. The Skull Village has knowledge they've been keeping from him for a long time, and it's time to add that knowledge to his library. And with that, he poofs. I'm out of here too. But I know the Skull Village won't help until I cleanse these other stones first. They'll just send me away if I don't, so I'll spend the rest of the day sorting those out. Sunstone was first. Used Bend Will to reveal the lurker and zap the stupid thing into oblivion. Finally, on day 77, I found the first heavy armor chest piece to have a destruction enchant on it. We're losing a little bit of defense and some health with the enchant the Dwarven set had, but I think it's worth it, and it looks a little better than the power armor looking suit I was wearing. Going back to the first stone we went to meet Neloth, this is the Earth Stone. Just gotta kill the lurker and move on to the next one. Water Stone's next along the northwest side of the island. These guys give some nice loot too. This island is honestly packed with loot in general. Last one is the Beast Stone. All of the stones can be used to get some fun power too, but I'm not interested in what you can get for this build.
So you can cast a few spells. Am I supposed to be impressed?
Yes. I only have a few potions left again. I need to do a potion run. Hitting up merchants along the way like always. I love this part of the game. Collecting and crafting, but I know it's not fun to show every 3 days. It's over and I'm riding to Winterhold to do a very expensive training session before leaving on the boat for Solstheim. I couldn't actually afford the 5 levels, so I just did the 4, getting me up to destruction level 85. 15 levels away from maxing it out. The last 10 levels are really going to be tough. We can only train to level 90 with trainers, so the last 10 we're on our own. Now to take the boat back and press on. We're still ahead of schedule with the 3 bosses I want dead. I arrived, and on my way to the Skull Village, I remember that I had not made my potions yet. I'm running on empty, but that's okay. We'll make more before we need them. For now, we just need to kindly hand over the knowledge they're keeping from Mora. He gave me the final words to bend will, and I'm ready to challenge Miraak. Just need to make some potions and take this book back. Back at Raven Rock, I'm spam crafting the potions as fast as I can, and it's time. It's time to abuse Stagger and kill that other Dragonborn. There can only be one. Gave the book a read and got sucked into the realm of knowledge. That place up there is where he's hiding. Just have to make it through the chapters to get to him. I died a few times. Well, I went down. Not so much dying in here. Some silly downs like this first one. I fell off the side into the goop below and my health drained nicely. Then other times I got caught off guard underestimating these weirdos and they got me. This time around, I wasn't just going through the chapters, but I was collecting these books. I'll need the books to progress an area shortly. Did take me a while to get through here, I'll say. It took longer than expected. Rolled on into day 80 and I'm still going. Those books I'd been collecting in here are important for this room. We gotta match the names of the books to the pictures on the pedestals. I think this one is Gnashing Blades, and... oh, I did not expect that guy. Yeah, I'm dead. That's fine. Gonna rest up to get that tiny bit of magicka back anyway. That was the plan. Let's rent a room.
Are you joking?
Thank
You just rented a room for me.
Oh, I forgot. My bad. Carefully take these guys down this time. The next one looks to be prying orbs. That's very much an eye. Then, boneless limbs for the tentacles. And lastly, delvin pincers for the claw-looking thing. Now the chapter in the middle opens up and we are at the end. Almost. See, that's the last book to get through. I messed up a few times here. Guild the Seekers got in the word of power. This word is for dragon aspect. But now I'm to tame this dragon using Bend Will. Died a couple of times because I can never remember if I could just use Bend Will without taking him down. But I only used the one word and didn't realize. Took it down using my spells and then used the 3 words of Bend Will, which is probably how you're supposed to do it, maybe? I always forget. Now we can ride this guy and he'll take us to Miraak. We can tame dragons like this now and even use them to fight, but it's a little funky. I just told him to find a place to land, and here we are at the peak. where we can finally challenge the other Dragonborn. He trash talked for a while, and then we drew hands, and things kicked off rather quickly. I'm not gonna cut the fight at all. Just gonna talk over the entire thing and see how it goes. Going off how it started out, I think we can tell how it's gonna go. The fight lasted about 1 minute 30 seconds total, and I did stop to check the difficulty was still good. I mentioned before, but I've had a family member play on my PC in the past on his own save, changing the difficulty to Adept or something, and then have the difficulty bleed over to my save. So I'm checking all of the time, being paranoid, even if nobody's touched my PC. I've actually not had anyone on my PC except me since that time I noticed like half a year ago. The way the fight goes is that you take his health down once, and a dragon will drop from the skies above for Miraak to kill. Takes its soul, and he'll heal up. Stagger's the difference maker. I think if he wasn't permanently stumbling around, he could have gotten some killing shots off, but he didn't. He does take a good few of the dragons from the sky down to heal, but keeping buffed with destruction spells and having a constant supply of spells with the restore magicka potions, he stood absolutely no chance, and it was over before it even started. A good thing that I felt over-prepared, and he's dead. Miraak gets raised up and kinda impaled by Hameus Mora. He missed, but he tried his best. Looted his body as well as the dragons around that he killed. I'm gonna sell their bones to my Dromora merchant. Get a nice chunk of gold from these guys. Love this power. Interacting with a book in the middle of the peak, and now we're able to interact with any of these perk symbols and spend a dragon soul to reset that skill and get back all of the perks spent on that skill. It's another way to do it by not getting the perk to level 100 and making it a legendary skill. I don't need to be doing this right now, but it's cool. Let's leave through the book. That's all 3 bosses I wanted to take down, taken down. But there's still stuff like getting the spells and maxing out the skill tree perks too, which might be rough. Still plenty of time left in the day. Planning on sticking to the island for today to get the other words to Cyclone. One of the other words are in White Ridge Barrow. Easy one to get. Just killing some spiders. And then the Dragon's Priest at the end, which had the same mask I was wearing, but benefits frost damage instead. These masks are great for my character. Got the second word, and then I got sad. Because the third and final word I forgot is in this crypt. Yeah. I'm not getting in there right now. To get there, you have to go through the quest line with this guy. I should have started it when I made it to the island, but I didn't. It takes a while to do because you do a step, then wait for mail. Then you do another step, and you wait for mail, and so on. I don't really need the third word. I'm fine with just the 2. Also, I thought, see, there's a ring I need to get in there that will get me access to some destruction spells I need to complete my collection. So yeah, early morning, day 82, I quickly went back. He's looking for a partner to help with the dig into the crypt. I gave him 1,000 gold to go hire some people to help with the dig, and now all we have to do is wait. Wait for some mail to arrive from that guy, and then we'll be back. Let's go to Skyrim while we wait. Spending some time grinding destruction up. I almost set a goal for the video to make destruction a legendary skill an X amount of times in the 100 days, and I'm so glad I didn't. Takes a surprising amount of time to get it leveled up. Maybe with some enchantments to make spells cost no magic, it would be easy, but I didn't have that with the rules I set, so it's taken a long time. I've gotten destruction to level 90, and Feralda will no longer train me. That's not why I'm here. I was hoping I'd be able to get the option to learn about the master level spells, but I'm not getting that option yet. I think at some point between level 90 and 100 it can happen, but I'm here a little too soon, it looks like. I'll go back when I've got a couple more levels into it, but for now, giants and bandits will have to suffer for me to accomplish that. I got a saber way over there. That is a long shot. Can I get him? Oh, got him. Zoned out watching some Netflix. I've been watching Orange is the New Black. It's a good show, but I've probably not been very efficient with leveling watching it. Came back to sea, and still no option to start the Master Spells quest. I am only level 91 though. Thought I'd risk checking earlier than I'd planned, and it did not pay off. Did get heavy armor to level 60, and now I can take the 4th Juggernaut perk to have a higher armor rating, and I'm also taking Rune Master to be able to use runes 5 times further away. I've not really touched runes, so I've been avoiding taking the perk, but now we are just 1 perk off maxing out what I can get for destruction. I'm here a little early. I'm in Solstheim again. I just got off the boat. The mailman shouldn't be long, so I'll just see what I can get up to here until then. I am sick again. Got severe brown rot. There's gotta be a shrine in the temple here, right? Is this a... Yep, shrine right here to bless me and rid me of disease. Oh, I also unlocked the second word of Cyclone. Almost forgot to do that. Makes the recharge be longer, but the effects are made more powerful. Right, just outside Ravenrock Gates, I bumped into a guard fighting some Ashspawn. He accidentally got caught up in me playing with my shout, and after helping him clear them out, I offer my help to find out where all of the Ashspawn are coming from attacking the city. Found a note that mentions an old general. He says that's impossible because he's been dead for hundreds of years. I'm to head for Fort Frostmoth to see what I can find. So I go. About a minute-long walk along the Ashfields, I find the fort with many Ashspawn guard in it. They're not too tough, but they have a fire spell to watch out for. Killed them all on the outer area with Elemental Blast and went in to keep on blasting. Found the undead general pretty quick, and he went down in just 3 shots. He waited over 200 years to die to someone he didn't even see. And to make things worse, I sold his hammer about 20 seconds after he died. I'm here for the disrespect. Reported back, and the god was happy with my success and gave me a nice 2,500 gold for my troubles. Quickest and easiest 2,500 gold I've ever made. Got caught up in more drama here in town too. I'm not 100% paying attention, but the counselor's life is apparently in danger. And I kill a boatload of people to keep him safe. It was all worth it because after being the town's knight in shining armor and a funny looking mask, once again, I got given a free home. Got a body in it. I might have been the culprit. I don't want to talk about it. But I do have a home here in Ravenrock for my good deeds. Sat by a fire, totally not planning on murdering half of the island's tribe population. If the mailman had turned up, this wouldn't be happening, so their blood is on his hands. I'll be sure to tell him when he does eventually turn up, but for now I'm once again working on destruction. Got it up to level 92 while looking for their stash of the lusty Argonian books they had, because I was sure it was in here, but boy was I wrong. Just lots of boars ramming the crap out of me. They're just about all dead, and I'm starting to worry the 3 days you have to wait between the investments for that quest have to be spent on the island. I'm thinking that's not the case, but it's a slight worry. More than halfway through the day and still no sign of my mail, which could only mean bad news for the local wildlife. Rando Red Guard trying to rob me got incinerated, and a parked boat got pillaged by a mage looking like the inside of an 80-year-old handbag. Now in charge of my very own ship, I do some whale hunting. Picking off the netch in the area, hoping to get some juicy XP. I had to rest at the inn in town, and yes, still no sign of my mail. This is insane. I read on Reddit that no, you don't have to spend the 3 days waiting for the letter on this island. We'll track you down with Rallis's mail over in Skyrim. So, I go. It might be a bug for me, and I don't feel like waiting here for the rest of my days if that's the case. We still have to get the Master Destruction spells, become a vampire, and wait for that mail, if it turns up. Something tells me I'm not hitting all of my goals in this video. Winterhold's not far from where we get off the ship, so I want to have another look if I have access to that dialogue I so desperately need. Alright, I'm stressed. I'm not saying I'll zap the crap out of you if we don't have that chat option, but I might. Still nothing. Are you kidding me? Today's a bad day. My horse is dead over there. I went into my home near Solitude to collect ingredients since I'm almost out of potions, and bandits decided to kill it while I was inside. Jerks. Gotta walk to Solitude. And I did. Very slowly stepped my way over and bought a new horse in the morning from the stables. Except, not really. I got scammed. He took my gold, and this horse isn't saying it's mine. I'll get one from Whiterun instead. I should kill him for that. You better not do the same thing, okay? He didn't. I got my new horse and hit the road for the farm. I really don't think we are seeing that mailman ever again at this point. I'm not sure what's going on. Carefully spammed the crap out of the potion crafting and went to terrorize the local bandit population, and finally accepted that my life is just hoping the mailman comes today. We'll get those stupid master spells though. Can't tell you how many mammoths I've killed in this playthrough. It's a lot. I was looking at what spells are good to get a ton of XP for destruction, and apparently the runes give a nice chunk. They cost a lot of magicka, which is probably the reason. It's just running through my potions pretty quick. But yeah, it looks like it's leveling very, very quickly. Oh, and I did find this kitted out chief wearing dragon bone armor. I killed him. I took the boots and gauntlets since they're the two pieces I wear that aren't currently enchanted, and I can't do much better than dragon bone. Oh yeah, this is the way to go. Flying through these levels now. If it comes down to magicka cost, then yeah, I can see why compared to Elemental Blast, this is faster. Elemental Blast does so much more damage and costs so much less magicka, so I gotta hit the rune a lot more too, and it's great. Got 2 destruction levels from 1 location. But I'm just about out of potions. As I stand in the middle of my farm, I realize just how greedy I've been the last 30 minutes. I went through all of my potion supply quicker than I can produce them for the first time in a very long time. No potions and no ingredients to harvest. Surely at just under level 97 destruction, we can get those master spells now. Let's go see. Or not. The carriage driver is broken and won't take me anywhere. They normally do this when there's combat nearby, but there's not a soul in sight to look into hurt anyone. Ran into Whiterun to check on the traders, hoping when I get back he'd take me to Winterhold, but nope. Still not working. Guess we're walking. And when I say we, I mean my horse is walking me up north to finally get my master spells. You have got to be kidding me. Still no option to learn about them. This game's really gonna have me go the entire way to level 100, huh? So the grinding continues. And now it's a real grind again, because I don't have potions to spam. And you know, for a heavy build, my sneak level is rather high. Lots of sitting around waiting for magicka to regen while sneaking to save potions when I can. And I'm nearly level 50 with the skill. Oh, is that the mailman? Finally. Where have you been? Oh no. No letters from Rallis about the dig. Yeah, it's not happening. That's okay, because my plants have grown and are ready for harvest. So let's get back to it. I'm not going back to the college until I hit level 100 destruction. I'm gonna have to start being more conservative of our potion supply, even when we have lots in our inventory, because they seriously don't last long just using runes to level up. So when I can, I'll hide and wait for magicka to regen instead. Level 99. Today is the day, and I'm hoping it happens in this place. Got lots of Forsworn that can fall victim to my traps I'm setting right in front of their faces. If I'd known runes were so good, I'd have... Crap, I did not see that trap. This place was not the place to push us to the end of our grind. It was, instead, this cave. Not really sure what's going on in here, but I take a very inconveniently placed arrow to the... And after respawning and getting my 100th destruction level from this Thalmor, I legged it back out the way I came. Took the Master Destruction perk. That lets me cast Master level destruction spells for half the magicka. Too bad I don't have any of those spells yet, but this is the skill tree maxed out entirely, which is one of our goals for the video. Okay, over to the Hall of Continents, and yes, finally, there is the dialogue option to start the quest for the Master Destruction spells. She gives us this book called Power of the Elements, and when we open it, we get some clues on where to go next. Luckily, I know exactly where to go to start filling out this book. Didn't check Google because I forgot. Honest. See, you don't get a quest marker for this one. You'll have to figure it out yourself. We have to hit up 3 different locations total. First one is over by Dawnstar in this hole. We're gonna drop down, kill the skeevers, put the book on the pedestal, and then all we have to do is cast a fire spell at the book here, and now it will have a new set of clues. Second set of clues will take us not far from Riverwood, up on a mountain to where these bandits are chilling. Clear them out, and also chill the book with a frost spell. I'm just using Elemental Blast since that has all of the spell types combined, so I don't have to swap out what I'm using. Final clues will take us over to the Reach. Gotta head to Four Skull Lookout. Got these bandits living here. Gotta clear them out and get my book taken care of. Put it on this pedestal, and that is the quest complete. We automatically get the Firestorm spell, which is one of the master spells for destruction. There's a couple more, but wow, I can't even use it with how much magicka I've currently got. I'm gonna have to sleep. After traveling and resting up, I have no footage for day 94, and we are now in Winterhold on day 95 with the ability to burn down the town. I won't. I'm a nice person. But I could. Now that we've finished that master spell quest and have Firestorm, we have access to some new spell tombs that we can buy from Ferelda the Destruction Mage in the College of Winterhold. Took all of them and tried them out in the Hall of Elements. Unbound Flames looks fun. I can cast a stream of fireballs that look to leave a wall of fire that I guess does more damage. Unbound Freezing lets me have an icy casing around me that knocks down nearby enemies and freezes them for 50 points of damage per second. Unbound Storm seems to auto-zap things that are close. Uh-oh, I just killed that mage. Luckily, I already lost the bounty. That friendly was also the only witness, so we should be fine. onto the master spells. Firestorm lets out a massive fiery area of effect sort of attack. Pretty cool. I can't use it very much though. Then Lightning Storm casts a nice stream of lightning I can control that does a ton of damage per second. Lastly, we have Blizzard that, well, causes a blizzard around the caster that hurts enemies nearby. I've tried it all out, but I want some live test subjects to see how they do. I know I just murdered that mage. Okay, shut up. Just gonna harvest up my ingredients to make some more potions real quick. I've got some restore ones left, but I'm all out of destruction buffers. Got someone trying to break into my house too. Fire up a lightning storm and teach him a lesson. Sadly, we aren't getting every spell in the game for this video School of Magicka now. Rallis never getting that mail to us means I'll miss out on some spells, and I'm not going to worry about becoming a vampire to get vampiric drain, since I'd rather not be one in this playthrough anyway. And if we aren't able to get every spell, what's the point? All of my ingredients gathered and spam crafted potions that the alchemists store in Solitude. And now I'm joining the Imperials. Not because I give any sort of crap for the Civil War storyline, just figured it's a good way to play about with my new spells. Lots of enemies to deal with in this questline, so first we are to prove ourselves by taking a fort all by ourselves. Yep. Fort's not far from Solitude. Just up the hill, I ran in using my Unbound Flames, but I'm not sure this spell is for me. It doesn't seem to do direct damage with the balls, smacking them in the face. It's just the walls that lay on the floor that do damage when walked on. But my word, the Unbound Freeze and Storms combo is absolutely bonkers. The freeze knocks them down, frozen in ice, and the sparks rips up their health insanely fast. This is gonna be my new go-to combo. Cleared out the people on the outside and the inside very, very quickly. The fort's mine. Now let's get back to Ricka. The Jagged Crown quest is up next. Took an oath to the Legion, which I could not care less about, and I'm off to get the Jagged Crown before the Stormcloaks get it. The Imperials aren't getting it either. I'm taking it for myself. Met with the Imperials near the Crown's resting place, but Ricka isn't here yet. It's okay. You can still storm the location. It's overrun with Stormcloaks before she even gets there. Started out using Lightning Storm and then ran in with a blizzard surrounded me. Cleared out the enemies with my freeze and lightning combo and headed on in to meet Ricka, who is finally turned up. Blizzard is pretty great though. Used it once around this small group of people and easily wiped them out. Run ahead of my Imperial friends and made it to this room. There's no Stormcloaks in this place, but there are plenty of undead. Pulling this lever to open the way ahead also wakes up the Draugr. And I thought it was a good time to try out Firestorm with all of the friendlies being a little behind out of the way of the blast. The cinematic kills with this thing is pretty awesome. Pressing on, there is the Draugr with the Jagged Crown on its head. Use Lightning Storm to take down a chunk of its health until it used a shout to interrupt the attack. Then use Blizzard to get some damage going on everyone in the room and finished off the zombos with the Lightning Storm. Now we can take the crown from this guy and bring it to General Tullius. But I won't. It looks good on me, and as much as I know I won't be wearing it when I leave here, I'm keeping it. I want to find the weakest possible dragon and zap its butt into oblivion. Yep, that's my goal for the day. I think I've seen one flying around the mountain over there. Yeah, there is a dragon, leaving my horse safe here, and let's go see what we can do. Only thing that sucks with the Lightning Storm is that we don't get any sort of stagger to enemies while using it. Got the dragon's attention. Took a potion of Fortified Destruction and started my cast. But the dragon landed, interrupted me, stopping the cast, and I'm about to take a big hit. Retreated slightly and got off a shot on the sucker. The big damage here didn't happen when it was on the ground, but when it was in the sky, I could still continuously keep my flow on the poor sod, and by the time it landed, it was very, very dead. That was pretty satisfying. I love that spell. Return to Esbern. Wait. Why would I do that? Oh, I had no idea I could wear the crown and the mask. When I put them both on earlier, the crown wasn't rendering for me in third person some reason. But I went to have a quick break, came back, and bam, I'm the king of the spikes. This might be my new look. Anyway, I'm curious about something. Let's go to Solstheim. Oh wow, this staircase out of the water is not very horse friendly. Come on, guys, it's 4E201. Should have things more horse accessible. Uh-oh, yeah, they are so getting sued. I'm gonna die of the cold, yeah. Well, I made it. I was curious if coming here would trigger the mailman, but it was me that ended up triggered. See, apparently somehow Rallis hadn't got the first investment I gave him, and the quest hasn't even been activated yet. I'm sure this was my fault, and not the game's. Maybe I died after doing it, and somehow closed the game without saving afterwards and didn't realize. I'm not sure, but I've been waiting all this time for something that wasn't gonna happen. As much as it's my fault, someone's gonna die. Yeah, someone's getting zapped, and it ain't me. He looks dead, but he's not. So if you're curious, there is a ring you can get down there that lets you have access to a couple of new spells when you wear it. One is called Freeze, and there is some stats on the screen if you're curious. And the other spell is called Ignite. I'd likely not use the spells at all past showing them off anyways. Let's go back over to Skyrim. Hang on, where's my spikes gone? So yeah, I guess you can wear both at the same time, but the crown doesn't always show on your head. You do seem to get the extra armor rating wearing it though, which is great still. Speaking of heavy armor ratings, headed for Fort Dawnguard to try to find Esbern to train me in heavy armor again. It's been a while, and I'm not gonna lie, I've not showed you, but I've struggled to find this jerk every time I come here. 2 minutes later, he appeared out of nowhere. Did 5 expensive training sessions and had a very quick sleep to use my level up and do an additional 5 training sessions, bringing us to level 72 heavy armor. I would take the matching set perk, but I'm never gonna be wearing a matching set, sadly. Next, I'd like to get the conditioning perk that makes heavy armor weigh nothing and doesn't slow me down when worn, but I only have 2 perk points to spend, and I need 3 to get up to it. I don't need the other 2 perks, but I'll take them like I would to eventually take conditioning. I'm not sure I'll get another level before time's up. If we don't, then I got my armor rating to 337, which isn't bad. Been pretty slow going on that front though. Spending my last days terrorizing Skyrim, showing off my mastery of destruction. I think my favorite single spell is Lightning Storm, but my favorite combo is Unbound Freezing and Storms combined. Favorite cinematic kill is easily Firestorm. Camera kind of zooms out and back into the camera. It's great. I want to like Unbound Flames, using it to try to do damage to this troll by predicting its path, but really doesn't seem to do much. It's all come full circle. We started with Bleak Falls and we're kind of ending with Bleak Falls. Cycloned the last Draugr into the sky and charged up my Lightning Storm. Made sure I was buffed up and got a fun cinematic kill. Well, Jigglypuff, we made it. Day 100, a boatload of spells, a crown, and a nice view here at Dragon's Reach. What more could you ask for? Hang on, there's a dragon down there. See if I can get it with a Lightning Storm. Nope, doesn't seem to be touching him. Getting distracted aside, this video took a long time to make. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. I'll see you around.